It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, away we go. A wet and wild Wednesday. We will do a lot of fun things today on the show. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and TLC. How you feeling, boys?
Feeling good, big dog. Cannot complain at all. A lot happening in the sports world. So when that, is going on, life is good for us.
Yeah.
How you feeling? You doing okay?
I had a little community trail mix that was out on the counter.
I saw that out there.
The bag was open.
Like a 2-pound bag.
Yeah, there wasn't 2 pounds left. Maybe a half a pound.
Okay.
And I didn't go in there with my hand. I scooped with a bowl.
That's good. You're a good employee.
But
good teammate.
I think I'm feeling like I'm playing a little injured now to start the game.
What do you got?
I don't know. There's
like an almond
M&Ms. There's pretzels.
Mm-hmm.
There was like the little peanut butter Hershey kind of things.
Okay, you're experiencing what I experience.
What else? Peanuts.
Yeah, it's the almond attack. You got to get the got to clear the throat over there, big dog. It's game time. We got to get ready to go.
And here's the funny thing. I was about to tell TLC, and I praised him at the end of the show yesterday for playing hurt. I think he's off the scissor. I'm not positive. But I don't think any of us will ever be able to match this. And so what I sent to him, so a buddy of mine, Stephen Kappas, who I used to work with at Channel 6, great producer over there, became a news director in Albany, New York.
Okay, moving on up.
And I didn't know this was his station. But I saw this morning, and he sent me a little deal here. So I'm going to let you play this. I don't think any of us, you don't have to play all of it, but any of us can ever complain about working while we're sick anymore or showing up to work when things are a little off, right? You just, almond attack. Oh, wow, big deal, right? Listen to this.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Olivia Jakewith.
And I'm Julia Dunn. We do have some breaking news this morning. Literally.
Yes.
Olivia's water has broke.
That's
and
right.
she is anchoring the news now in active labor.
Early labor.
We've been doing the contractions. She's now, timing her contractions.
We'll see. I'm going to
and
pay
she's,
attention.
2 minutes apart?
Just powering through.
Well, there was one, but it's been a few minutes since then, so we're still in good shape.
Her decision to stay on the desk, by the way.
Look at what it says. Days past due date.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I know. So we're thinking maybe
I'm
today.
happy to be here, and I'll stay on the desk for as long as I possibly can. But if I disappear...
We're so happy for you. She's
That's
2
what's
days
going on.
overdue, so she wants this baby.
That's right.
Baby out.
Thank you, guys.
Southwest jingle?
Olivia.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, the Buckeye
That means
here.
Whole
maybe
show.
you
Look at
won't
that.
see me tomorrow?
3 hours of news.
That's right.
In contractions. I think that's a first for CBS 6.
All right. Well, hopefully I don't see you tomorrow, but make sure you join Julia.
Water breaks,
She's a real one.
and let's just keep reading the news.
She's the real MVP.
And we're talking
through.
about a little bit of Dayquil, and I had too much trail mix. Like, come on.
That is wild. I don't think that's ever been done in the history
Early
of TV.
contractions. I'm 2 days over. You'd think maybe they'd induce now, but she was just
playing hurt.
So I text Steven, because he's the news director.
Okay.
And I said, "Is this your station?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "All right, fill in the blanks for me." He says, "She was admitted after the news. She is in the hospital now. Her due date was Monday, a couple days ago. That came and went, obviously. And her water breaks just before she joined her co-anchor and obviously decided to work the rest of her shift. Her co-anchor, that other woman you heard, which, by the way, do you hear her subtly put in there? It was her choice. Station isn't making her do this. She's pregnant. And she's due in July. And
now the bar's been set.
it's like a baby boom there.
How about that?
That's a good point.
And
the bar has been set. If the water breaks live on the air, hey, you gonna follow your partner's lead?
You finish the game.
Yes.
That's right. You stay. Hey, keep your head in the game, Gene Hackman. Keep your head in the game.
Oh, my goodness.
And so who's anchoring now? Maury Povich?
Your boy might have to hop on the set.
We have no more reserves. Mellon, we need you.
Tell him to get in there.
Get your suit on.
Hey,
we need you.
that's
not the bathing suit.
That's got to be the first time that's ever happened in the history of TV. Has to be. Guinness Book of World Record type of stuff right
I could
there.
see going in someone going into labor and then pulling ripcord.
Yeah, I got to go. But staying on the set live.
Ripcord.
Yeah, right.
And leaving. But her going, just early contractions.
Hey, used to it.
Just anchoring the news, going to anchor it.
She's a legend. Absolute legend. Get her a raise immediately.
Did you see there was a video that was going around last week, I don't know how current it was, where one of the news anchors fainted.
I did see that.
And the guy they didn't throw to commercial.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
He kept reading the news.
No, we got to shut it down.
That guy.
Yeah.
Go to break.
Somebody getting his headset, whatever that is.
A colleague is down.
I agree.
You know, I always found that interesting in sports, Maddie, where someone's got a pretty serious injury, and the guys just kind of huddle up together, and they let the trainer, because, you can't have too many chefs over there trying to fix things. But I always thought that was kind of odd, like awkward. You got a guy down, but we got to focus on the next play. And it just happened in the NHL where that ref took a high stick to the eye. Mm-hmm. And the guy that accidentally did it, he's got to go on and play. But this is a new one. I agree.
Listen, it's kind of like when we watch CB not cater to the man that passed out prior to us coming back from New Orleans on the plane. You remember that? And he passed
the guy
out.
That dribbled his dome off the top of the airplane.
And CB just looks down at him and just like, hey, figure it out.
Stepped over him, I think.
Figure it out.
To get to the ladder.
That was
like
tough.
He's Ty Lue.
So we were on the way back.
I don't think he taunted him. He just stepped over.
We were on the way back from New Orleans, and we were literally about to take off. AR, myself, CB, and this guy.
All in different areas
correct.
of the plane.
CB's in the back by the bathroom. I'm a couple rows in front of CB, and AR is a few rows ahead of me. I see this guy get up, and I look at him, and I'm like, he just doesn't look well. Like, I could tell he's sweating. It looks like he's really going through it. I'm thinking, he's either going to throw up or he's got to go number 2. But I see him start to stumble.
Who does number 2 work for?
And this guy falls straight back. It hits his head, like, kind of on the bathroom door, like the corner. And CB just sitting there. And CB does nothing. And he just looks at the man. Luckily, there was a nurse right behind me that got this guy together. I think it was diabetes. His sugar was low. But, yeah, CB didn't even try to help the guy.
Not even that. I mean, this is lower than, I played a lot of tennis in my life. When the ball goes into the other court, there's 2 words you fire. Little help?
Yeah.
Like he didn't even go to the level of asking for a tennis ball back.
He's had his headphones on.
Little help here?
Headphones on, looking down. Let me continue my music.
Maybe if I don't look, it didn't really happen.
Did he have the hands in the hoodie pocket like he usually does? As he steps over?
Let's not.
Oh, man.
Who knows?
I didn't even mean it like that.
Maybe that's why he didn't get up. All right. We got a lot to do today. Here's how we're going to play this. We're going to pull an audible. Because we have to, and we want our listeners to be up to date on the most latest things that are going on.
Yeah.
So they can be a big hit with their friends.
If they have friends.
Well, I'm going to assume most of our listeners have
family.
friends. Because they want to pass along the information.
Dog our listeners.
Maddie, yeah.
McGruby don't play like Homie, and Homie don't play like that.
Exactly. So, anyway, we're going to slide Schefty into the 1 o'clock hour.
Okay.
Because we need to know what's happening with other things that are going on.
It's a lot of moving pieces in the NFL
meetings
right now that are getting shifted around on the board. Breaking news right before we came on, and some things floating that are out there in the wind with no concrete answers just yet.
So we'll get to that. So we'll have Schefty around 1 o'clock. We'll have BC coming on morning juice style 1:30. And I've got something I want to play for him, Maddie, to get his reaction, but I'm not going to tell him.
Okay.
I want it to be really, I want it to be organic and just handle it.
He can handle
read and react.
Yeah.
I'm not giving him a Connor Stallions. I'm not telling him the play that I'm going to run. So he's going to have to do it old school. And then we'll get into Buckeye Talk with our friend Steven, affectionately known as Natron Means, on the show at 2:30.
And we got to ask him about Eli Brickhandler, the new quarterback.
Let me ask you this.
For your Ohio State Buckeyes.
If he was a basketball player and his name was Bricklayer,
worst name you could
would
ever
that
have.
be good?
Even Brickhandler.
Yeah,
I
as a
think
point guard, it would be bad.
Terrible for basketball. Quarterback, I think you can get away with it.
The Bricklayer.
Yeah, you don't want that.
All right, so we got that to do. The other thing, so no more complaints. And we can always we want to have the curtain up. If someone's playing sick, we'll point it out. Mm-hmm. But no more. This woman was going to have possibly a baby live while she was reading the news.
I'll try to remember her, but knowing me, I'll probably be complaining by the end of the show about something.
The weather. It's cold. It's rainy. Exactly. This woman's going into contractions on the air and says, hey, we got a game to finish.
I always say it's one of our favorite things to do as humans is complain about something.
Yeah, and then get others to complain with you. It makes you commiserate, I think, is the word that,
misery loves company.
They created. Yeah. Speaking of misery, do you ever see that movie?
Is that
Kathy Bates, James
she's
Caan?
Torturing?
Well,
was that the husband? Is that
No, it's not the husband. It was a famous author that she was obsessed with his books.
Okay.
And kind of made him a captive till he wrote the next book.
A romantic
yes, definitely.
Horror film?
A lot of romance there, yes. Very one-sided romance.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a rough ride.
Okay.
It's a wild... But you have seen it, or you just heard
seen,
about it?
Memes of it over the years. Okay. I have not seen it, so I knew.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen the memes.
Us millennials do it.
That's it. All right. I learned about it on TikTok, and I've seen the memes. All right. We're going to come back because they have tabled something, a big something that we talked about yesterday in the NFL. We'll give you that next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Our customers are wonderful to work with. They're intelligent. They've done their research. They like what they see. And that, I think, is the biggest reason why they come to us, because they know that they're going to get an excellent window, excellent installation, and excellent service. We're good at what we do.
Visit our showroom today at 4200 Roberts Road.
Dealin' Days are back at Lindsay Honda. Lock in your deal in May. Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas. Simply pick your new 2025 Honda and enjoy 0% for up to 60 months. Yes, 0% for up to 60 months on all new 2025 Hondas, including HR-V, Pilot, and Ridgeline.
Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Lindsay's got it, and you're gonna save.
See Lindsay Honda during Dealin' Days. See lindsayhonda.com for details.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week's honoree is Natalie Lorenz from Delaware. Natalie is a fire dispatcher who coordinates resources during major incidents and provides instructions to callers before the fire department arrives, going above and beyond the call of duty. Her professionalism, compassion, and strength make her an invaluable asset to her workplace and community. Natalie is a true unsung hero who deserves to be recognized.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy. America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
If you haven't heard about Oakland Nursery's specialty decor stores, it's because your neighbor didn't want you to know where they've been finding all those hard-to-find items in their home. The Home Store in Dublin and Inside and Out in New Albany are two unique shopping experiences specializing in eclectic home decor and art. Discover items you won't find anywhere else, sure to make your guests envious. Love your home by finding inspiration at the Oakland Specialty Stores, the Home Store in Dublin, and Inside and Out in New Albany.
Good news. Jack has personally invited the Fan to the Memorial Tournament, and we're broadcasting 30 hours of live content, and we'll try not to embarrass ourselves.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Don't forget the umbrella today, as rain chances are in the forecast again with isolated thunderstorms. Otherwise, expect cloudy to mostly cloudy skies and temperatures in the low 70s. For tonight, chances of showers and thunderstorms continue. Overnight lows right around 50. And for Thursday, much cooler, only getting into the upper 50s with chances of rain lingering. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
No one funks up the work microwave like these two. Fish again? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, back at it. All right, so let's handle the Tush push is alive and well. I don't know about well, because what was it, 22-11, and they needed 24 votes to push it aside?
He tweeted out exactly what you said. Final vote on the proposed ban of the Tush push per sources was 22-10. 24 votes were needed to ban the Tush push. He also said, one source said there were at least 9 and possibly 10 teams that voted no on a ban of the Tush push play.
Interesting.
Teams that sided with the Eagles included the Ravens, Patriots, Jets, and Lions. And the Eagles right now are taking their victory lap, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. The team tweeted out a 26-minute video of Tush push plays only, and also a graphic that says push on, with them doing the Tush push against the Green Bay Packers, who are the team that proposed to get rid of this play. So they are being petty right now as the Super Bowl champs, and I'm absolutely here for it. The graphic is awesome, though. Push on versus the team that wanted it done. And they're like, nah, you can't stop us. We're going to come out here and continue to do it.
So I've said this before, I'll say it again. The quarterback sneak's a big part of the game. It's a big part of the game. If you got an athlete at quarterback, if you got a big guy quarterback, if you got a great offensive line, you need a yard, you need an inch, you can get it. And you can get it that way. I thought it was very awkward the way the Bills were trying to run it. I could make the case that the reason they didn't move on to the Super Bowl is because Josh Allen didn't run it that well. But I don't like the push part of it. I'm all for the sneak. Sneak doesn't need to go away. It's a big part of the game. Why are you physically pushing your player for the first down?
Let me ask
in the
you this.
backfield. It feels very rugby to me.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like that's the necessary part of it.
Let me ask you this, AR, because I think there's some people out there with you. Are you okay with when a running back gets stood up and there's a little bit of resistance, and then the offensive lineman, let's say in the middle of the field, you would have that banned as well?
Forward progress was stopped.
You continue, because sometimes in some games you see it get whistled, and some games it's like they allow the offensive line to push for another 2-3 yards.
I guess if they didn't blow the whistle yet, and that's on the refs.
Yeah.
But last I checked, there was still a forward progress rule in the game.
Yeah.
So that's the part of it that I don't love. I'm not dying on the hill. I don't really. It is what it is.
Well, you had Jalen Hurts a couple years ago in fantasy, and you soaked up all those rushing touchdowns via the Tush push. Yeah, you loved it then, big dog.
I loved when he scored. I don't remember exactly was every Tush push.
Oh, it was unreal that year when we would come in here, AR, and I said, my goodness, I think it was DeAndre Swift. The amount of times that
down at the 1 yard line.
The 1 yard line was nuts.
Yeah, you can't plan that, I don't think. But that's the way I feel about it, that the sneak is fine, and of course that stays. There's a reason they don't call offside. I pointed this out to our boy, Dean Blandino, at the baggage carousel when I had him as a captive audience. He's waiting for his bag. He can't go anywhere. I got him. And I'm like, why in the hell are they not lining up in the neutral zone? And he's like, you know what? I think that's
You're on to something.
You know what? They should. He looked at me and said they should. Here's the reason they don't. This is my theory, nobody else's. They know it's so hard to defend that they're giving the defense a fighting chance to go helmet to helmet. There is no neutral zone when it's 4th and an inch.
Yeah. I personally don't have an issue with the play. I want my team to get on board with this. I think everybody should get on board with this if you have the personnel to do it. The Eagles, I think, are a prime team to execute this play the way that they have efficiently, because that's the other part, too. It's like it's pretty much automatic when you look at the numbers and how Philly has done this over the last couple of years. But we talked to Brian Baldinger at the Super Bowl last year, and he talked about how massive Philadelphia's offensive line is and how they can just dominate you down there. But it's also who their quarterback is and his physical stature, and how Jalen Hurts is a quarterback that squats 400, 500 pounds. And so he has that leverage that he can use there. But, yeah, I want the Ravens to get on board with this and try to do it, because it seems to be a bit of a gimmicky play. To me, there's no denying that. It does feel that way to me. I know it's probably harder to execute than I'm making it seem. But, boy, if I'm an offensive coordinator, if I'm a head coach, like, let's really try to grind this thing out and figure out a way that we can put this on our playbook, because it just seems like an automatic way to get points on the board.
I think as an owner, if I had the quarterback that could do it, it'd be worth the risk. I think Jalen Hurts also kind of wrenched his knee on one of these, and he was kind of dealing with that a lot. But it is such a weapon, and to move the chains and convert first downs and how big that is, I understand why that's worth the risk. What I don't understand is why that many teams voted to keep it, because they started thinking about their quarterbacks and all of them. So you'd be willing to put Lamar in a little bit of harm's way.
I want this in the
that
playbook.
Scrum.
Yeah, I want it in the playbook.
Are you surprised that many teams voted for it? They only needed 2 more owners to vote against it.
I guess I am a little surprised by it, AR, because we don't see it from that many teams in the league that are banging the table to continue to do it. I think it's the Eagles. We've seen the Bills do it a few times. Maybe I'm missing
Bills
a couple
for sure.
of other teams, but this isn't a widespread thing around the league to where the bulk of these teams in the AFC and NFC are doing the tush push. But maybe they're trying to get on board with this now, and that's the reason why they did vote in favor of it.
So the Eagles and Bills did run it the most, and they were the most successful. So it's not like they were just volume shooting. They really were great at it. They scored a touchdown or got a first down 87% of the time they tried it.
Yeah.
The tush push attempts. Not sneaks, actually pushing the quarterback. Now, maybe he got the yardage necessary before the push even happens.
Yeah.
That's possible. I'm not going to go back and examine all of these. The rest of the league, and this is probably answering my own question, the rest of the league, I guess, when they tried it, and you're right, I don't really remember it all that much. I just remember normal sneaks. 71% successful.
Okay.
So they've kind of leaned into that it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like we will all need this at some point, so let's get in on it. And I will tell you this. Of course, the well, I shouldn't say that, because the interesting part is I was going to say that one conference should want it out more than another. But it's if the Bills and the Eagles are running it the most, that it's not like just the AFC teams would vote to keep it in.
Right. Here's what I would want, too, for my team, AR, is let's make it as goal line specific as we can. Unless it's a late third quarter, fourth quarter situation and we're at the opponent's 40-yard line, then go ahead and do it. I wouldn't want to put my quarterback in harm's way all the time just to pick up first downs, right? Because you look at the Eagles, that's what you have Saquon Barkley for. You look at my team, that's what you have Derrick Henry for. The running backs, I think, can handle some of those 3rd and 1, 4th and 1s. But when we get down to that goal line, that's what I would want my team to be all in on executing or trying to execute the tush push.
The interesting part about that, and I hate seeing this, and I think most football fans do, when it's their team. Yes, if you have Derrick Henry, you're in pretty good chance, or Saquon. But when they pitch it or go wide, and that guy's getting it 8 yards away from needing a yard, that's why they run the sneak, because it gives the defense a chance to beat a block and get through, or somebody knifes through a gap. And all of a sudden, it's a 5-yard loss when you only needed a half a yard, and you're pitching it 8 yards deep.
Yeah.
We saw that happen, and credit to Ohio State. We saw them do it against Texas. Texas got all the way down to the 2-yard line and ran a pitch play, and they lost 8 yards on it. And it set the whole series on its head, which is great for Ohio State. So, yes, you can have the best running back, but the key is that if you have a quarterback that can do it, then it's all good. Or you go back decades and you ask Walter Payton to jump over the pile. And
that works too.
We've seen some guys do that, but not as recent. But, yeah, I'm kind of it's nothing that's going to break the game. And the Eagles do it the best. And if everyone could do it like they would do it, maybe more of them would be for it. But again, the final vote was 22-10. It needed 24 votes to pass to ban. So it didn't make it, barely.
There were reports out there, too, that Jason Kelsey, the former Eagle, was in the owners' meeting today when it came to the tush push, and that he was laying out from a center's perspective and player's perspective that this isn't a play that's very dangerous, because Jason Kelsey, the center of the team, key part of that play, was banging the table and saying, you know what, this is a situation where it's not as dangerous as some may think.
Go ahead.
I'm actually going to Minnesota. What? So there were some things said at the last owners meeting. Some of the owners and coaches hinted that the reason I stopped playing was because of the tush push and that I got hurt on the tush push frequently.
What the f***?
I'm just going to answer any questions people have about my partaking in this play. I don't care whether it gets banned or not. I think that at the end of the day, this is why you vote on things. And if they vote to ban the tush push, the Eagles are still going to run quarterback sneak at a very high percentage.
92%, exactly.
I'm just going to offer any type of, if anybody has any questions about the tush push or whether I retired because of the tush push, I'll tell you this right now. I'll come out of retirement today if you tell me all I got to do is run 80 tush pushes to play in the NFL. I'll do that gladly. It'll be the easiest job in the world, and it'll be like 80-some snaps.
First of all, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about the quarterback. He's an offensive lineman. I don't I didn't mean it.
As a head coach.
I didn't mean it that way. What I meant was he's saying I won't get injured. He didn't say no one's getting injured. He just said I've never been, and I'll run it for millions of dollars. Of course you would. So we're not comparing you to the situation. What I'm comparing him is to the damn ball carrier, not the guy that's hiking it, who's been blocking those guys his whole life.
And that sounds credit to the New Heights podcast. What you heard was Travis Kelce cackling in the background right there. What do you got, TLC?
Isn't the health concern that everyone's talking about is the linemen and the position of their necks, just diving forward like that?
That's been said. Yeah, that was
6'3", 290.
I know, but
I just feel like
it's the snapping of the ball, putting your neck down, and maybe the weight of those guys coming down. And there was some concern out there for sure for the offensive lineman.
That's Nick Sirianni's problem if he's doing that, if he's calling that play. If Jalen Hurts gets hurt, I don't know. I mean, with the rate that they've done it, we've also been watching the Eagles do this for 3 years, and Jalen Hurts hasn't gotten hurt.
No, well, he has gotten hurt. He hasn't gotten injured. He's gotten hurt. His knee, I'm here to tell you, I think it happened in a rugby scrum.
Do we have to protect the Eagles and the Bills from themselves?
No,
we need Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen on the field, so you're not allowed to call this play.
No one's dying. I'm not dying on the hill. What I'm saying is keep running the snake. I think Kelsey said it right. By the way, I was kind of surprised that he said, I don't care if it passes or not. That's what you vote for. I was a little surprised by that. He wasn't protecting the Eagles. He said they'll still run the sneak. That's my contention, that just don't let him push the quarterback. Do everything you guys do. Just don't let him physically take the quarterback and push him.
Because let
him do it on his own.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
All right, we'll come back, Maddie, and we'll talk a little Bengals and the whole Trey Hendrickson saga. Dan Graziano has some insight into where it is. You'll hear it in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hitting a hole in one into your ear hole. Ew. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, guys. Don't waste any more time. You know where I'm going with this. You've got questions. They'll give you the answers. Low T Center is the place to go to find out where you land on the scale of your testosterone and if you need replacement therapy to help you feel your best again. You might spend money on low-quality stuff online. You might be charged just to start. If you go and visit the TRT experts today at Low T Center, you'll get the free consultation. You'll get the free test. Treatment is personalized to your body. Most major insurance is accepted, and you'll get the freedom to choose. If you want in-center care or at-home treatment, you'll be in control of everything, especially your health. Feel better. You want to lose some weight? Get a free B12 shot when you start prescription treatment. The offer is limited. You can book it now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. Do it today, guys. Trey Hendrickson deserves to get paid what the market is. That's what Joe Burrow said. It doesn't feel like he's going to get traded. He probably already would have. I remember, was it asked James Rapine or Schefter Matty about where are these people? And he said there were some. There were some teams that want him. Then they'd have to pay him, but it was maybe what they'd have to give up in compensation. I'm here. I believe he stays. I know he kind of tiptoed the I'm not playing without a new deal. I think eventually they'll get to something that makes sense. And you and I have debated, is it money? Is it years? Is it both? Is it guarantee? At his age, it just seems different. While he's 30, now, no one would say he's slowing down. In fact, I'll play this Graziano bite for you, and maybe this will give you a little insight into where the Bengals are going with him.
Obviously, he's frustrated that the Bengals haven't offered him what he feels he deserves, and he's frustrated at the pace of the negotiations. Now, we have heard from Bengals front office people earlier this offseason. They feel that they've made fair offers to Trey Hendrickson and that he should be happy with them, but he's obviously not. Look, he says no communication since the draft. The draft was 2 weeks ago, so that's not necessarily like a massive gulf of time, and certainly no deadlines have been missed. But when the Bengals have had issues getting veterans signed to extensions in the past, the issue has been future year guarantees. They have traditionally not guaranteed any money beyond the first year of the contract in these veteran deals. They made exceptions for Joe Burrow and most recently Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So if you're Trey Hendrickson, you just led the league in sacks, you're probably thinking, well, why not me too? If there's an answer, it's that those 3 guys were 26 years old at the times they signed their deals. Trey Hendrickson is 30. That's a significant difference to an NFL team in terms of age, and it's entirely possible that the Bengals would be more hesitant to guarantee money further out in the deal than they were with the younger stars on their roster.
It seems right on the money. It seems like this isn't about getting paid $34 million a year. It has to be the guarantee beyond first year. I get as much as I can guaranteed. It's what everybody wants. That's what he should want and maybe get to a certain degree. But what we've learned out of Cincinnati is that they care more about offense than defense. They do. They're just leaning into the best defense is a great offense. That's what they've done. You and I debated this for a while. In fact, we debated a head-to-head on T or Hendrickson. I certainly could see your point of view on T because he's so good. I came from it from a different avenue, which is I want a complementary football team. I see what's holding this team back. It's not putting points on the board. It's preventing points. And I think by weakening a weakness, it just put them in a bigger hole. But here we are. He's still a Bengal, technically. Yeah. And he may have to play out the final year, or he may have to take what they've given him, or the big bluff would be to do what he said he'd do, which is I'm not playing.
The hope, obviously, if you're a Bengals fan, is that this gets figured out and figured out quickly, because you're in your window. You're in a window, especially because of what you have at the most important position where you can contend with some of the best teams in the league. We all know that. We've seen it for years. Big picture, though, even outside of the Trey Hendrickson thing is, even if he does sign, how confident are we that they're really going to be a much better defense? Because with him, and while he was a dominant force, we're still talking about this defense being far away from where they need to be. And where they need to be is just in the middle of the pack. That's where they need to be. And so there's been so much change on defense this offseason that getting this guy back is an absolute must. They're going to call his bluff. I think that's the game that they're going to play. Is he willing to eat hundreds of thousands of dollars and potentially millions of dollars in fines? We shall see. But that room that he's in, he is no doubt the leader. And the leverage that he does have, in a way, when it comes to the football stuff, is who else are you going to rely on if I'm not here? I don't think they can confidently look at him and say, we've got this young guy, this young guy, and this guy on deck, that we feel like we can roll out there on Sundays and be a competent defense. I'm not seeing it right now. Joseph Ossai woke up at the back of the year. That's fine. That's not a large body of work. There's nobody there in that room that I think, if you're a Bengals fan, that you wake up on Sundays and know that guy's going to be an impactful defensive player, snap in and snap out on that defensive line. And so the unfortunate part of this is exactly what Graziano was talking about. The team is looking at him and saying, we're not sure that what you've provided over the last 3 to 4 years will continue in 2026 and beyond. And so because of that, they're at a stalemate. They're at a staring contest right now. And I don't think this thing's going to move, because I don't think the Bengals are going to budge. And Trey Hendrickson is saying, okay, well, I'm not going to be around for the offseason program. I'm not going to build chemistry with the new young guys, and I'm not going to show them the ropes, and especially a guy in Shamar Stewart who needs veteran leadership right now and experience and reps out there on the field. And speaking of Shamar Stewart, he's not even out there getting reps
some language
right
in his
now
deal.
For some contract stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're a Bengals fan, you love what happened, and you love the new identity to a certain degree for the front office and what they did offensively, which was new for the franchise. I gave them credit for that. It was great to see them do it. But here we are again talking about another offseason for Cincinnati, to where a star player for the team and the front office cannot figure it out. It's only May, so it's not – they got time to figure it out. But it's unfortunate that for a team that should be contending and just focusing on nothing but ball is being distracted by some coins right now.
They are kind of they've got a lot of bells and whistles. I just don't know if they have enough of the fundamental on this team, defense and O-line. Like, they've got stars. They could go out and win a lot of games just with some stars on offense. When Hubbard went down for the season, and that turned out to be his final NFL play, it was a touchdown, no less, right? He saw Ossai got a bigger role, and I thought he played well. I thought he played well in those last 7 games, and maybe did. And they brought him back, on a 1-year deal or whatever they did, and they want to continue that momentum. And I guess he would be penciled in as the starting edge rusher opposite guess who? The guy who's holding out. Yeah. So I really don't. Their O-line with Kappa gone, I thought it maybe wasn't as bad as it looked, but you got to think there's growth for Mims coming. They still needed the 2 starting guards. Like, they're kind of put together funny for me right now. But you've got a big 3 on offense that can solve a lot of problems. But if you want to win it all, I think you still need to improve that pass rush, even with Trey. Like, you brought in T.J. Slayton. He's 330 pounds. He can stop the run as a nose tackle. But it's where's the interior pass rush? Like, where is that? Like, they just...
Well, you had it with DJ Reader, who was a good player, who's no longer in the mix. But if they get lucky, what will happen is one of Miles Murphy and one of Shamar Stewart will hit and wake up. Yeah. That's what has to happen, because even if Trey does come back, That's supposed to be the future of your defensive line right there. When you drafted Myles Murphy in 23 in the first round, and this year you drafted Shamar Stewart in the first round as well. And I was talking to one of my friends who's a Bengals fan, and he's highly concerned about what two other teams in the division did. When you look at TLC Steelers going to get Derek Harmon and the Bengals not drafting him, and then Mike Green going to the Ravens, two guys I know Bengals fans wanted. You've brought in a couple guys over the year that have had questions about their college productivity, and Myles Murphy has not been a player yet for them, and Shamar Stewart, the narrative around him was he wasn't getting home. Not to say that that's the end-all, be-all, because the traits are real, but that's the future of that room. And one of those two, hopefully two of those guys, if you're a Bengals fan, hits, but they need one for sure to turn into a dude very quickly.
All right, we're going to come back and give you an update on the Cleveland quarterback room, and Deshaun of the dead could be walking and maybe running again. That's next. Rothman Ice and the Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
It's Military Appreciation Month at Coughlin Chevrolet. Get double the GM military discount. Lease a new 25 Chevy Trax, $139 a month or $119 for military. New Silverado, just $349 a month or $309 for military. Now at Coughlin Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Coughlin has the car for you.
Military discount for active reserve and retired military personnel and their spouse. 39-month lease with $39.99 due at signing for Trax. 36-month lease with $49.99 due for Silverado. Plus tax, title, and license. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. See dealer for details and 6225.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
If Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea was your best friend, it would be the kind of friend that starts an impromptu dance party in the supermarket aisle that turns into an all-day pool party rager at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea turns any day into a legendary adventure. It's smooth and refreshing real iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Finding the sweet spot between the over and the under. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, you know that door, Maddie, that you kind of, like, we have like a sliding door or whatever, and I'll slide it all the way, but not enough for the animals to get out.
Okay.
Just enough. Or if I don't put the screen, just enough so they can sniff some air if I got to step out for a quick second or whatever. I feel like that's what the Browns have done with Deshaun Watson. There's this sliding door that they just won't latch on this guy. And you were telling me today that Deshaun of the Dead is alive, not well, but where his progress and his recovery.
Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com is reporting that Deshaun Watson, who is now out of his walking boot, has, quote, been throwing to Jerry Jeudy and David Bell indoors at the Browns facility. Cabot, characterizes Watson's rehab process as, quote, excellent.
Sean already back to throwing the football.
This is quarterback chaos.
Does she move on to the Orange and Fudge report?
In Cleveland.
That's right.
I mean,
exactly.
What is that?
I'm telling you, she's not giving you information that's wrong. It's factual. He's, I guess, doing this a lot sooner than they thought he would do it.
Good luck, Kevin Stefanski, figuring this out. Now, him throwing
would you want to pay
Stefanski?
Let me ask you guys a question. If you were Jimmy Haslam, and you knew what you were paying this guy, and somebody told you that this fall he'd be healthy.
No, I'm done. I'm off.
Would you pay him that amount of money to watch Dylan Gabriel and Shador and Kenny Pickett do their thing?
I can't put my fan base through this anymore. We know what he is. We know what he is. He's gone through gruesome injuries this offseason, popping the same Achilles twice, which is wild to even say. I don't think I've ever
better than
seen that.
Popping each one? You rather pop the same one twice or be hobbled by both?
Pop the same Achilles twice. I don't know.
That's a good tell the truth.
It really is. That's a lose situation right there.
I mean, can't you just lean on that one good one? You'd rather just have one good one? We go all in?
Him throwing at the facility is a long ways away from him being ready to play in any type of game come fall. So we shall see. It was surprising, though, to see this report.
It was, because he was out of the mix for us.
Yeah, he was not going to be a part of any football-related stuff this year. You hear some things that he's around, and he's in the quarterback room with Flacco and the gang up there. So he's lurking in the weeds to a certain degree, but as far as on-the-field stuff goes, you know what the guy is, right? And it's been unfortunate for him when we talk specifically football because he hasn't been healthy, and when he has been available, the play has just been lackluster. And he's had a couple good games here and there, but obviously for what they've been paying the guy, he's not living up to that at all. And we just watched a couple.
And what you mean by not living up to it is the worst contract in the history of the NFL.
Absolutely.
Is that, okay.
100%, AR. You nailed it, man. And that's exactly what the contract is. And we just watched a couple quarterbacks who are older than him. And I get it, right? When you talk Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins try to recover from this injury and not look like the same guy. This season, to me, needs to be all about the future of the position and finding out what you have in that room. Without Deshaun in the equation, I didn't even think they were going to carry 4 quarterbacks. Now that on paper, always on paper, technically they've had 5. 4 of them were able to do football stuff, but now I guess we have to add Deshaun to that. You got to find a way to clean it up and move on from 1 or 2 of the vets because it just won't make sense to me at all when we get to the regular season if they have this cluster of quarterbacks all at the same time on the same active roster.
It is weird. I shouldn't look at him really much differently than I look at Flacco, in that he's not the future.
Yeah.
Could he, when healthy, be better than one of those rookies? Yeah. But there's no future you're building around. Even if I told you, well, you would never want him at this price. But let's just deal with it from a talent standpoint, because you and I both feel like there's something very off about him, and health was notwithstanding. Like, there was something off. He just wasn't reading it right. The confidence was drained and all that. Who's backing up Lamar Jackson?
We traded
I know who it is. It's not a trick question, but you might get it.
Who did we bring in this offseason? We're not doing the Tyler Huntley, Josh Johnson thing anymore.
Nope.
Oh, man.
He's played well in the past. I'll give you a couple hints. So he's played pretty well in relief and has played for
the Rams?
No, but the NFC would be correct.
Who did we bring in this offseason?
Don't tell him.
I don't know. So I'm playing the guessing game too.
Oh, man.
I want to make sure I'm right before I... Okay, yeah.
Who is it, AR?
Cooper Rush.
That's right. Okay. Dallas guy from the Cowboys. Yeah. Okay.
So Cooper Rush, if I gave you Deshaun Watson right now for Cooper Rush, would you take a chance? Money, no object. They're both getting paid the same in this conversation. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out where he is in the pecking order of the AFC North. Because if it's Lamar and Joe, and then I guess who would we put next in the AFC North? Flacco? Burrow,
no, I'm putting
Lamar,
Shador there for me.
Ahead of Flacco.
For me.
Talent-wise.
Yeah.
Today, you need to win a football game.
Shador.
A professional football game.
I'll ride with Shador.
All right, I'm putting Flacco ahead of him. Jake Browning.
I've seen him win games recently.
I'm trying to find out where we would put Deshaun Watson right now when healthy.
Amongst all the AFC
amongst
North
every quarterback that's currently employed.
I would, if Deshaun's healthy, I'm taking him over Jake Browning. But I wouldn't feel great about that decision. I'm being honest.
So you'd be rank him fourth? Over Mason? Over Will Howard?
No, I would take
over Pickett?
I would take Mason Rudolph over him. I would take probably Kenny Pickett over him right now as well. Are you with me on that?
I don't think I would take Pickett over him.
You roll with Deshaun. Okay.
If fully healthy, and I've got to try to win a game.
It's sad.
And it doesn't matter what I'm paying anyone.
You're rolling
I'm
with
just
Deshaun.
saying, we're on a playground. We're all there. All-time quarterback. We have to pick one. The draft is happening.
Give me quarterback with the two gloves. With the White Castle slider hands.
I think Deshaun's probably 7 or 8.
Yeah, the fall from grace is wild. The fact that we're even having this type of conversation about this guy and where he was prior to coming to Cleveland, it's insane. It's insane. And the contract is just disgusting to look at and think about if you're a Browns fan.
By the way, I have an announcement to make.
Yeah.
In or out is next. Adam Schefter at 118.
Perfect.
There you go.
Okay.
You've been in contact with
the guy.
Well done. Floated him again.
Did you hear that? Had a little salsa on that. I like that.
You're going to be using a retractor during the surgery, aren't you? Well, of course, we have to. All right, we'll come back at the top of the hour, and maybe we'll get into a little more of this discussion of the 5-man weave in Cleveland. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bob, you know what I love the most about you?
That I pay you to do these commercials?
That, and the way you treat your customers.
All right, listen. I will hook you up in our warm, inviting environment. You will be greeted by our top sales professionals that are non-commissioned, but will help guide you through the entire process.
You're my guy, Bob. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com. Tell them Bob Capace sent you.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 3 free with your card. Limit 10. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Matty Ice here to talk about my friends at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Have you seen the 2025 Traverse? McDaniel GM Superstore actually has a great selection of new Traverses right now. And qualified buyers can finance 0.9% APR. Plus, they've got no market adjustments or hidden costs. That's been the McDaniel difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north of Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Call Rizzotti today at 777-4806.
Scotty Vegas here, and yes, Memorial Day is this weekend. Have you tried on those shorts from last year? Scary thought if you didn't make any changes. Make a change now and see every future holiday, every day, as the best day with Awaken 180 weight loss.
Spring showers revealing roofing or siding issues? Trust the pros at Newman Roofing for expert care, white glove service, and quality you can count on. Schedule your estimate today and take advantage of special financing options. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
This Memorial Day, turn up the heat with the Home Depot. Find the perfect grill and patio set to keep the cookouts coming all season long. Grill up a feast with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill, only $229. And complete your space with the stylish Glen Ridge Falls 7-piece dining set, now on special buy for just $499 with free delivery. Take your Memorial Day cookout to the next level all summer long with the Home Depot. See homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. We've got some day baseball going on right now and some that's about to start over in Pittsburgh. The Reds and the Pirates, they're in the top of the second. The Pirates have a 1-0 lead, though. The Reds with runners on the corners. You can hear that over on ESPN Columbus. They got a late start over at Huntington Park, but they're in the bottom of the first, and the Clippers and Iowa Cubs are scoreless. Cleveland and Minnesota are about to resume their game from Monday night that was postponed in the 4th inning. Minnesota was up 2-1. 1, 1:10. They will resume that one. Then they will play their scheduled game for today later, probably around a 3 o'clock start. The NBA's Eastern Conference Finals get underway at 8 tonight when the Knicks host the Pacers at MSG. Western Conference Finals in the Stanley Cup begin. Edmonton travels to Dallas to face the Stars at 8. So, sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give him a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online, sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Rothman and Ice present In or Out.
Just a little of the old in and out.
All right, second hour. We start with ins and outs. Schefter coming up 1:17, 18-ish. And then our man Bobby Carpenter will follow up tag team duo. All right, take it away, TLC.
All right. If I told you the Browns would start at least 4 different quarterbacks this year in 17 games, would you be in or out on that?
I'm out on that because one of Flacco and Pickett got to go. Because if that's the case, to me, I believe both those guys would be on the roster. You need a handful of starts to me from Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. So I am out on that. This is about the 2025 offseason, figuring out what you're doing with that extra first-round pick from the Jaguars and turning the page and saying, do we need to move up in the draft or stay where we're at and get a little bit higher and draft one of the quarterbacks coming out next year? So I'm out on that, TLC.
It's too crowded. Can't tell you 4. I mean, yes, it sounds safe. You know, you have the veteran, but this year is not about winning games.
It's about getting
I don't really know what Myles Garrett was talking about. I don't know. Well, I kind of do. You'll toe the company line when they hand you the money they handed him. He was all about not going from Cleveland to Canton, and he made us all believe there was some secret quarterback that was waiting in the wings they were going to unveil to everyone, and they never really did that. And so I would predict that Flacco would be the one to go because you traded for Pickett. You drafted Dylan. You drafted Shedeur. You went up to get Shedeur. I don't think they want to admit that that was a stupid move until they know that these guys have no future. So I'm with you. The way it's leaning, it feels like that Flacco would be the one to go.
It is National Waitstaff Day. Are you in or out on saying something to one of your buddies at the table if you catch him leaving a weak tip?
Is it his own bill or is he paying for me too?
His own. You're going Dutch.
It's on him. That's on him. If I'm in charge of the tip, my own, then I'm good. Yeah. But if I'm at a table where a friend or a family member is treating, it's a tough line to walk. Because if they're paying the bill, then they have, what am I going to lean over and say, well, you really shorted them on.
Here's an extra 20, homie.
So that's tough.
If it's his own individual bill, then I'm going to stay out of another man's pockets. What I will always say to one of my friends if we're out, and it drives me nuts when you get served and nobody says thank you. Like, it's a simple thing. Like, I'm big on that. They bring you another drink, they bring you your food, whatever. Yeah. Like, just say thank you. It bugs me when people get served and they don't just, show a little love back. So I will always say something to one of the homies then.
I've rethought it. First of all, I like that idea, unless you're in some deep conversation and it's just something gets put down and you're actively talking.
Even then, AR? Thank you. Back to our conversation.
I think that I have matched up with another person when we're going Dutch. What are you leaving? What should I leave?
Okay.
And I think you want to be about the same. I think I will ask now. Now, if he's coming in way under, then there's not a whole lot I can do with it. But I think it's good if you're having dinner with somebody and you're each paying your own bill and you ate around the same amount of food and you both were waited on by the same person. It's nice to kind of match it up.
See, we've never done that.
What are you leaving? You leaving
20,
5, 10, whatever,
20%,
whatever,
based off the service,
and then you leave $1 more than he does, just so you can look a little bit better.
And sometimes it's just an old school generational thing, like on whether or not they're used to leaving that much. But I think I would do it that way. I would lean over and just say, "Hey, what are you leaving?" and then hope that he wasn't lying.
Let me throw this by you guys: when you get sat down at a restaurant, what's your cutoff time to say something to someone, either another employee or the manager, if you haven't been served yet? You know, when they come by for the first time, how long do you usually wait? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
Oh, 5.
Not
you can't
10.
be doing it within the first 5.
If nobody comes to the table?
5 minutes is not nothing.
Yeah, that's a
you mean
pretty long time.
When you first sit
when
down?
you initially sit down.
I thought you meant when you placed your order and you're just sitting around like, man, it's been forever.
Oh, no. I'm saying like
Matt eats at McDowell's.
You walk in, one of your homies, whatever, you're going to watch a game, whatever, you sit in the booth. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, nobody comes to the table. What's your cutoff time until you do
I'd
say
say
something?
once the 5-minute mark elapses, it's game on.
Okay.
Then you can start looking. You may not wave it over till minute 8, but you start looking like that person.
Okay.
I think the biggest variable, Maddie, is actually how many times have you seen a server come to a table near you and not check you?
I like that.
I think that's something where you go like, do they think that we've already been served and that's why we're not taken care of? Like something like that where I'm like, I see people making the rounds because if they're all tucked in the back, okay, maybe they're busy. But if I see people out and about and they're not checking on me, that kind of makes me concerned that they forgot about me.
I hear you.
On the old pay no mind list. Not a good feeling.
Yeah. I don't know how much you caught of last night's Thunder Timberwolves game. At very least, if you caught the score, you got the gist. Because the Thunder ran away with that one. So, are you in or out on the Oklahoma City Thunder running away with the title with little resistance beyond the 7-game series in Denver?
Are you saying little resistance? Are we labeling that as 5 games or like 5 games for both the Western Conference Finals and Finals? Would that be your definition of that?
Yeah, I guess.
They're gonna,
or if it goes 6 games, they have a 3-1 lead, and then they lose one on the road or something, but never. It's kind of just a feel thing.
Some resistance is on the way, I think, in both rounds. Yeah. I think their defense is awesome. They've been creating so many turnovers and scoring points off those turnovers in the last couple of rounds, and they did it again last night. Minnesota missed a bunch of threes, which I don't think they will miss the way that they did last night. So Minnesota's built for this. They showed us last year, I think, on the other side of the bracket, too, whether it's Indy or the Knicks. There's some speed bumps along the way. But, yeah, they're built to win a title. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm with Maddie. I don't think it's a breeze. I don't think it's a cakewalk for OKC. And I think that a couple things major have to change, like he said. They got to get those threes to go down. Even if they made threes last night, they may not even win, because Oklahoma City was just layup drill and in the paint. Did you see they scored 54 points in the paint?
Dominant.
That's they got to do something about that. And if they are going to do that, you better hit more than 15 for 51 from 3.
Yeah.
These 3-point numbers, man, are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey,
New Jack City.
Yeah. And look, Anthony Edwards has got to get up more than 13 shots in the game. Like that's got to crank that up, maybe double that.
I'm out on our 2 bets. I gave the kiss of death to your Reds last night.
Wow.
And I saw that Conley went 1 for 5 on threes.
I was talking sweep about the Pirates. Ate some crow immediately.
I think I mentioned the over yesterday on the program.
I remember I put that disclaimer on it. I said, do we have to wait till the Pirate series is over? And you said, no.
No, it's all about
just
the Cubs.
2 or 3 from the Cubs.
All about the Cubs for me, because that's the measuring stick of the division, and they were cooking again last night. My goodness.
Try not to let Pete Crow Armstrong destroy you.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Unfortunately. All right.
Is he going to take a seat with Hap coming back? Where's he going?
Oh, no. He's their everyday center fielder.
He's
okay.
I know he's on now, but didn't he get
him,
the
Tucker, Hap, probably?
When Hap was out?
3 of those guys, they'll roam the outfield. It's a good unit they got out there, man.
We got some news that pertains to me. Notre Dame and Wisconsin, they figured out the make good from the COVID year. They were supposed to go to Lambeau. Now it's going to be 2026, week 1 on Sunday. Are you in or out on college football games being moved to semi-neutral stadiums that are NFL stadiums?
I think most people would say college games have to be on college campuses. Here's my cutoff. And I know they just played in Wrigley, and that was an anomaly, and I get that. But if you're moving to an NFL stadium in your state and you're playing that game, I'm okay with it. I just don't like to see a baseball diamond around it. It's got to be a football field. Like, that's kind of my cutoff.
I'm out on that as well.
I want to see dirt in the middle.
Yeah, it doesn't look right to me.
Paths.
I used to love that with the Raiders and Dolphins.
Yeah, right.
Here's where I'm at with this thing. I understand what they're trying to do with it being in their backyard. I don't love this opportunity to a certain degree getting ripped away from college kids. Give them transportation to the game. Like, I would love that if Wisconsin could provide transportation. That way you get the bulk of your student body to get on over there to the game. I guess it'll look cool on TV. We've seen this a few years, as you guys laid out. It doesn't bother me, but let's try to get the bulk of the people that it really matters for, the students on campus, to the game if we can.
And let's wrap it up here. I actually have no idea where you guys stand on this. Are you in or out on watching UFC on the weekends?
No, I'm not a big UFC guy. I'm really not. I can't even tell you last time I actually sat down and watched a fight if I was not out with my friends at a bar or something late night, and it's just on in the background.
I like kickboxing. It's a new sport. I think it's got a future, Matty. Good future.
You in on UFC or you out?
Yeah. We have our boy Sean Merriman on a lot, lights out, but no, I would say, Shark and I talked about this earlier, I was heavily into boxing years ago. Just when it was something massive, even before Tyson. But yeah, I don't need it. It just seems, I know why people like it. I get it. But no, I'm out. I would not lock in for one.
That's your in or out for the day.
We're going to come back with our boy Schefter. TLC's got him on the hotline. We'll get him to you next with all the latest from the NFL owners' meetings. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy, America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling, and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Matty Ice here. When I need a new Chevy, I head to McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, get up to $11,000 off MSRP on a 25 Silverado 1500. They've got no market adjustments, no hidden costs, and sales managers are on the floor ready to help. That's been the McDaniel difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees Wilson to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
Do your good-looking shoes hurt and you don't want to wear ugly shoes? At the Good Feet store, we can help you wear your heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Don't forget the umbrella today, as rain chances are in the forecast again with isolated thunderstorms. Otherwise, expect cloudy to mostly cloudy skies and temperatures in the low 70s. For tonight, chances of showers and thunderstorms continue. Overnight lows right around 50. And for Thursday, much cooler, only getting into the upper 50s with chances of rain lingering. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
NFL Playbook with ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
We will effort Shefty here in Connected Moments.
He's tweeting out some stuff as we speak, so that means he's obviously busy. This just coming in. Hard Knocks training camp this year will feature the Buffalo Bills. Hard Knocks in season will feature the NFC East. Last year was the AFC North, the in-season version, and that was really good. So another NFL nugget coming out, AR, that's not Hard Knocks related is a new award has been announced in the NFL, and it is the Protector of the Year, which will honor the league's top offensive lineman. So 3 new NFL nuggets coming down within the last minute. Hard Knocks training camp will be the Bills. Hard Knocks in season will feature the NFC East. And the newest award in the National Football League is called the Protector of the Year, going to the top offensive lineman.
That'll be interesting. I wonder who votes on that, whether they'll get former linemen or how that's going to work. That's such an art form.
It really is.
Offensive line.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear
difficult
that.
To judge that. The Hard Knocks with the Bills is great. That's awesome. Because in the biggest run of this show, they've never been on it, right? I don't remember them ever being on it.
I think they have.
So get them in there.
Yeah.
This is a team that's been knocking on the door for a while, a team that's faced heartbreak in their history many times over.
They got some good characters, too, on that team with Keon Coleman. Remember, some of his press conferences out of the gate were hilarious when he got drafted. And Dawkins, one of their offensive linemen, is a funny guy as well. So I'm sure Deion Dawkins, along with Keon Coleman, will be some characters that'll get some good laughs. But you're right. Like whenever we get a look at one of the elite teams in the sport behind the scenes, that's going to be good. And then, I like the in-season version of the NFC East. You got the reigning champs in there. Commanders go to the NFC title game. Cowboys are always a draw as well. And so the NFC East was that's a good selection, too, by the league and HBO and whoever else puts that all together.
You know, I'm looking at the rules now of Hard Knocks. It used to be that if you made the playoffs the previous 2 seasons, you were get exempt, but that's not in there anymore. And so the Bills, you are the team. All right.
Forgot that old Joey Bosa's in Buffalo now, by the way.
Did you watch his little, there's about a 10-minute video of him, his first day.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
Good.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
He's a very chill dude off the field. All right, we got Shefty with us now on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Oh, with a little music. No, that's okay.
Yeah, I like that. It's a nice little vibe there, Shefty.
Give you a little walk-up music, Shefty. That's okay.
You know, it's been a busy day.
Yeah.
Gosh, surprised.
All right, so I'm gonna paint you a little ironic scenario. It doesn't mean anything, but I just think it's pretty amazing. I was alerted to the fact that the Tush Push proposal was voted 22-10, correct?
Yep.
Do you find any irony? And that was the exact score of the Eagles beating the Packers in the playoffs.
I mean, sometimes fate is just amazing. Like, it's unbelievable how that happens, but it does. And that's how it came in today. And sometimes you can't make up this stuff, but that's the deal.
The team that wanted it out and the team that does it the best. And the team that does it the best won 22-10, and that was the vote. Incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, like I said, you can't make up this stuff, but that is what it is. And it's amazing.
Yeah, really is. Schefter, I want to get your feel on right now what we could be looking at 3 years from now when the Olympics roll around and NFL players are eligible to play. From the people that you talk to, how are the owners feeling about star players partaking in this? Obviously, with the chance of injury, that's always a real thing. My mind kind of goes to, well, they do flag football stuff during the Pro Bowl, and that doesn't seem to get much resistance. But from the people that are around the league right now, how are the owners feeling about maybe their star players coming into their office and saying, I want to play?
I don't think it's a big concern. Like, it was a unanimous vote. It was 32-0. It wasn't like we heard an owner come out and say, boy, I'm against this. And you mentioned the Pro Bowl. That goes on every year. And I think the NFL's big mission right now is international, growing the game internationally. We're seeing more games. I think eventually, even though there was no discussion of it at these meetings, the league is going to push for that 18-game season that we believe is inevitable. Once an 18-game season comes along, I believe the league will siphon off a package of games to go to, they'll sell off another package to basically have an international package on a network. So, it's coming. They're building it, and that's how I think it's going.
Do you have any idea about how players will be selected, one from each team? What if more players on one team want to do it?
No, it's going to be one per team, and how that's handled, we'll see. But it's going to be one per team right now, and then they'll be going over the rules here.
Let's talk about this Brock Purdy deal that came down and your thoughts on the construction of the deal. I know there's some people out there that have question marks about whether the Niners can still be an elite team after some of the losses that they sustained this offseason. When you looked at that Purdy deal and how the 49ers went about it, what were your thoughts, Schefter?
Look, they always knew they were going to do this. They always wanted to extend him, and it was about them coming in at a number that they could tolerate and stomach and digest and process, and they were able to do that. 53. It's not Dak Prescott 60, and the Dak Prescott deal was done a year ago. So, usually you see deals topple those deals. This one didn't. It came in $7 million a year under the highest paid quarterback. So I think the 49ers were prepared and bracing for this all along. Didn't catch them by surprise. They knew what they were doing, and that's where it came in, and it allows them to continue to build up. It's not the same team. They've suffered a lot of losses, but they're trying to reload the roster to be competitive again.
Chef, do you have any insight at all? Listen, I know you're not a coach. You're not in the coaches' meetings or all that, but the Browns, have 4 quarterbacks on the roster, 5 if you count Deshaun Watson. We kind of get news out of Cleveland that he's thrown the football already, and who knows if he'd even be healthy enough to play this season or even be in the mix for training camp and all that. But do you have any insight into who may be the odd man out here?
Well, the way I look at it is I think both rookie quarterbacks make it. That's my expectation. They invested a 4th and a 5th round draft pick in quarterbacks. Quarterbacks typically make the roster. So I believe it comes down to Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett for the starting job early on, unless one of the rookies really impresses. And I think one of the veterans starts, and the other one becomes trade bait if there's a team that needs a veteran quarterback.
The Philadelphia Eagles in the news today because of the tush push, but their head coach, Nick Sirianni, has been in the news recently because of a new deal. Schefter, can you lay that out for us?
Yeah, he got a multi-year extension. Look, he was going to get a deal. We talked about this on Super Bowl morning, how much was at stake in that game, the difference in winning that game and losing that game. You win that game, your deal's worth millions more. You lose the game, the Eagles have an argument that they don't have to pay you as much or pay you as long. He won the game. They won the Super Bowl. His coaching record is tremendous. And so the Eagles, want to keep him, had to keep him, had a year left, don't want a guy going into the last year of his deal. And they got the extension done, makes him one of the highest paid coaches in the league. They don't like to announce the length of the deal because they don't want to give the public, this is how they feel, like a countdown clock. Oh, he's got 3 years left or 4 years left or 5, whatever it is, right? And so they leave it like that. They just say multi-year. And I don't know what multi-year is, but I do know that he's one of the highest paid coaches in the league now. Any update at all on Trey Hendrickson? Still in stall mode? Yeah, it's still where it's been. Still where it's been, but I've not heard any update that's moved it either way.
Are the Cowboys actively, at the moment, Schefter, trying to get a deal done with George Pickens, or maybe from his side of things, he looks at, hey, I have an opportunity to play with a good quarterback opposite a good receiver, and I want to test the market. What's going on with a possible contract with Pickens and now his new team in Dallas?
Yeah, the plan is to play it out this year. That's the plan, and he should have a lot of motivation to get through this year, right? Like going to the last year, new team, new environment, go play great, get a new deal. Like he's talented and gifted to the point where he could be paid like one of the top receivers in the league, and he's gonna have a chance to go out and prove it and earn it. Any other update on any pending free agents trying to find a fit somewhere? Oh, I have not checked on them. I've been in Tush push mode. I've been in Brock Purdy mode. I've been in all this other stuff. What are the free agents you're talking about? Well, Rodgers would be the big one. Well, yeah. That's the obvious one. And Amari Cooper, our guy J.K. Dobbins.
What's up with Nick Chubb, Schefter? Anything on Chubb out there? No, it's been quiet.
Yeah. I mean, the teams are not, that we'll see. He now has a chance to sit back post-draft and see who has a need at running back, where he would fit best, right? And go from there. So I've not heard anything on him. I need to check. I need to check on him. Rodgers, the Steelers have a mini camp, a mandatory mini camp, June 10th to the 12th. I would think that would be an obvious time to try to get something done. And finally, did they change the onside kick rule? Is that official? Yeah, they altered it today. It's altered a little bit, and I didn't see the final how they changed it, but yes, they did do that. All right, so now you don't have to wait till the fourth quarter, I guess. If you're trailing, correct, you can do it. You can do it at any point. It's a yard closer, if that means anything. That gets you going. Yep, they did do that today. Okay. All right, my man. Yeah. Thanks for jumping on with us. Back to the meetings for you, and we'll talk soon. Yeah, by the way, I'm glad we switched it back today. Yes. We knew that was coming, right? Like, we called that one, right? Yeah, thanks for adjusting. Great audible, my friend. Good job. Yeah, thanks, bud. That worked out. Guys, have a great week. We'll talk next week and on Tuesday next week. Okay, sounds good. Talk to you then. Right. Thanks, Schefter. Thank you so much. Adam Schefter with us, ESPN Senior NFL Insider on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, we'll take a 2-minute break. Come back with our guy, Bobby Carpenter. Get his feeling on the changes going on in the NFL. And then, Maddie, I'm going to play him an interview. Get his reaction to it. Rothman Ice on the Fan.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Why would we trade our best player?
Well, at least you got to watch him in person when he was here.
I named my only son after him.
So you'll always remember his name.
Yeah, but what do I do with this jersey?
Luckily, the company has a great return policy.
I wore it for 6 seasons.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If you're
you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
There's nothing like ripping off your pants and enjoying some lobster bisque. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, always enjoy our time with Bobby Carpenter. He of the morning juice swimming upstream. I don't know whether he's... How are the harmonies going? You guys sharing a mic yet in there? You know how you and I talked about that on a round table? You know, you guys are so close together now, you could just share a mic. You remember how, like John Lennon and Paul McCartney would, sing lead on one mic, and then George Harrison would kind of switch between the 2 mics to kind of harmonize it as needed. And I'm wondering if your show with Tito would ever get to that point where you kind of sing into the same mic.
I thought you were going to say a little bit more like John Bon Jovi and Richie Zambora. Like that's kind of where
newer
we're at,
school.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, newer school. I mean, Robson, you're
newer from the Beatles. I'm newer from the Beatles. I meant yes.
Yeah, I thought I was trying to hit your wheelhouse.
You did.
By the way,
yeah.
If we're going to talk about playing hurt, Rothman, I mean, I thought you used to have a memory like an elephant, and I went in and got a vasectomy at about 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then showed up for work that day.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap?
Yeah, and I went and got it. In the first, they do it in 2 parts. They give you a little shot on each side. You know, I don't have ovaries. I can't have a child, but I can get my deal snipped. And the second shot, I was like, he started cutting in. I was like, that hurts, man. He's like, well, I can give you a shot. It'll numb it, but it'll take 45 minutes. I'm like, listen, dude, I got to be down at the radio station in about 25 minutes. Just give me the piece of leather. We're gonna bite on this cow, and we're gonna get this thing done. So it was. I mean, I respect the lady with the water break in there, but I mean, I had active procedure done that day immediately before, and just slap some peas on it, and let's go figure this thing out.
I thought I sent over a bubbly with a bucket of ice with a card that says, tough break, get drunk on me, use the bucket to ice down your marbles. Didn't I say that?
Well, that's a good pull from you, Dan Aykroyd. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you got it. I think maybe I did nickname you on there Bobby Vaz Deferens. I think that was a great nickname I came up. You would have gone even further than you have as Bobby Vaz Deferens.
The best part of it, Rothman, is when you start out with the process, it kind of feels almost like an Orchids of Aegis situation. They're kind of rubbing you, cleaning you down. But the only thing is the ambiance isn't quite the same. It's not the dim lighting with some soft music. You're in a really cold hospital room, and there's a tray of scalpels sitting right beside you. So, you kind of know where it's going to end up.
You know what? The memories, they keep me warm, even though those scalpels were cold. All right, so I'm going to play this interview for you, and then I want to get your reaction. This is, I don't know where this is on the surprise meter, but Mike Vrabel went on Urban's pod. And
oh, gosh.
I know, right? Exactly. So I want you to hear this, and then I got a question for you.
I tell this story to every person I interview to kind of drop the shield a little bit. I said, however you do in this interview, it will never be as bad as my first interview. I had never interviewed. I coached for a year, and basically what I did is I coached the linebackers, but I really just made sure that they went to class and they showed up at practice on time. Urban, in front of the whole staff that he had just hired, I get up there. I mean, I draw this little circle, this little T, talking about a 3 technique, and I mean, I just, down my leg. I had no idea. And he's like, that is the worst thing I've ever seen. He goes, I want you to go home, figure this out, and come back at 6 a.m. And I was like, I go home. I said, Jen, I don't know if I'm going to be coaching much longer. I said, that was the worst thing I've ever done in my life. And so then I stayed up. I went back to the office, stayed there all night, had a teaching progression, figured out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to explain it. And then he said, let's try this again at 6 a.m. And we did a little better.
A lot better.
So I'm like, I said, whatever interview you have, it cannot be worse.
You still use that story?
Every time. Wow. Every single time.
Unreal, right? I mean, it's right out of Step Brothers. Are we best friends now?
I don't know when that, I guess they jumped the shark with that and got back together. It is a true story. He had to interview twice. I didn't realize because it was so bad. I just thought it was, Urban being Urban, but because Rabe's knows ball, obviously has been very successful, but, anybody on their first day, I guess, can be struggling a little bit. But like you said, the probably the bigger part of burying the lead is when Rabe's left, I don't know if it was under the happiest of circumstances, but apparently now that they've mended the fences, so to say, Rothman.
Didn't they have a recent one where Vrabel said that when he was coaching the NFL against Urban in that brief time, Urban gave him a "Who are you?" or
I think that I think that happened.
I figured he was
Something
kidding,
like that,
but
yeah.
it seems like. And Bob, your memory. So Urban kept him on as part of the coaching staff as the defensive line coach.
Yes, he was there for that first 2012, and I think 2013. Yes, he was there 2013. I think when Noah Spence got suspended, and that's kind of where the issue maybe came, where Urban was attributing Noah Spence's substance issues to Mike Vrabel, as if he was like giving him whatever he was taking. Not like he's not there with him at 1:30 on Saturday night. So. Yeah, and then Larry Johnson, I think his first year was the 2014 National Championship season.
Okay, Bob, you obviously play defense. I can't wait to get your perspective on the tush push because it looks like that's going to be allowed to happen at least for another year or two. Talk about that from a defender's perspective and obviously how tough it is to stop because the Philadelphia Eagles are so automatic at doing it.
I mean, honestly, I've always looked at a quarterback, Rothman, and I know that you guys are big into Lucky Pierre, the guy that's kind of smashed in between the linemen and then the dudes from behind, so you're getting kind of worked both ways. It's tough, though. Like, they've been doing this for a while, like on field goal block. Like, I would push Chris Canty through when I was in Dallas, and he blocked 2 kicks, and he's like, dude, you are strong. He's, I've never had anybody, like, push like that to be able to, like, just keep running me through. I'm like, all right, man. And there is an advantage, to being able to do it. But there's only an advantage if you can do it well. And so that comes down to the execution of it. And, the argument is like, well, it's not a real football play. Well, who says so? They changed the rule in 2005 or 6. You weren't allowed to aid and abet a runner prior to that. So they changed the rule, and then this is what you get. So they did this. They created this, and now you've got to live with it. So, Murph Dog up in Green Bay, he can be sad all he wants about it, but dude, just do a better job of stopping it or have your guys do it better.
So you're okay with I said earlier, I'm not going to die on this hill. I would like the ability for the quarterback to get it on his own and not be pushed from behind. There's a dude in the backfield that is, quote, the finisher. Okay. That was a drop. That wasn't me live.
If you were, usually those guys are wearing gloves too, Roth, and remember that.
Who was I talking about? Who was I talking about when I said that weeks ago or whenever that was?
I don't know, some fullback.
He keeps everything. Cole does now, so he throws it back in our face, which is great. But you're okay, though, with the rule itself. You're right. The NFL made their bed. They created but you've got a bulge in it. All right. Now he's going crazy.
Well, here's the thing, is that I've heard you talk about this. I mean, Jalen Hurts is a quarterback that can squat like 600 pounds. So while it might help that he's being aided and pushed, they also have one of the best offensive lines and a quarterback that's got leg strength like linebackers. So, that's probably more of the advantage than the fact that maybe they're getting pushed a little bit from a tight end or a running back, or as you like to put, the finisher.
Any truth to the rumor that on tomorrow's Morning Juice, you will tell your fine listeners that they have no idea the physical toll that 3 vasectomies can have on one person.
Well, I've only had one, but we could get into that. I mean, the snip, snap, back and forth with a little Michael Scott. I mean, I've never thought about flipping back, but I mean, if I want to get back in the game, Rothman, I mean, maybe that's something it's in the realm. Like listen, it didn't hurt that bad. From all the things I tell people, of all the stuff I've had, it was in like the bottom 25% of injuries or procedures. But I've heard the snap. The snip is one thing. The snap back is significantly more involved.
Before we let you go, where are you at on the rumor that started to circulate yesterday that Jordan Hudson is telling people that her and Bill Belichick are apparently getting married in the next few months?
B&J against the world.
I mean, that is, we broke down the Schleggs and I were talking about that on the Bobby Carpenter show at noon. It came out right then when you guys were on. It was amazing. And I couldn't believe what I had saw. And if she's telling people that, I mean, listen, she's half of the first party. So the other half who may say something, or the other part is like, if you like it, Maddie, then you should have put a ring on it. Like
Beyonce.
Where's the ring?
Yeah.
100%. And so
maybe he gave her a Super Bowl ring.
Well, there's that. She could have a ring from him. She could go real ballsy and just buy her own ring to put on there to really go all in on it. Or maybe she, is just going to say, well, we're not doing rings yet. I don't know. But I'm here for it because I was of the belief that she would be dating a player before they got married. I took that prop bet from one of the ones out there. And so this would be out of left field.
All right, our man, Bobby Vaz Deference, joining the show.
Do you think Stevie will call her mom, though? The defensive coordinator, Bill's son.
No. Yeah, stepmom maybe.
Not even that. Not
mom
even
owns
that.
a sex toy shop.
She does.
Her mom.
Which is amazing.
It's amazing.
Oh,
I'm telling you, man, against the world. All right, my friend. Thanks for jumping on as always. Be well. See you soon.
Hey, always jump on it for you, Rob.
That's right. Oh, that's the 10 minutes I need. And the 10 minutes I won't get back. All in one, Maddie. All in one. Buckeye Bulletin coming next. Will Howard on becoming a leader at the pro level. I'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony. You know what the slogan is at the Good Feet store? Good feet, good life. Friends have asked me, how are my personally fit arch supports different from the inserts and insoles they can buy online or in department stores? There are big differences. My Good Feet arch supports are designed to provide me firm yet flexible function. What does that do? They actually help correct poor foot biomechanics, which leads to providing me long-term pain relief. I was also the guy who thought, well, if I buy good shoes, my feet won't hurt. It wasn't a bad thought. A lot of people think shoes are always the problem, when in reality, it's often the foot that goes into the shoe that's the real source of discomfort. When I got my personally fit Good Feet arch supports, my feet felt stabilized. The pain and discomfort went away. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people just like me discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One. Several convenient locations around Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, go to www.orthopedic1.com.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit casterconnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution Specialists.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. The Loose Cannons Pittsburgh Steelers decided they did not need a quarterback in the early rounds of the NFL draft. They could have taken Jackson Dart. They could have taken Shadur Sanders in the early rounds for allowing Shuck and Jalen Milroe and Dylan Gabriel and Sanders and Kyle McCord. They all fell off the board. And they would eventually land on a national champion quarterback out of The Ohio State University named Will Howard. And they got him in the 6th round on day 3 of the draft. There was some hype. It kind of was a roller coaster of hype, right, Matt? He was up a little bit, then he was down. It was kind of middle of the road.
He definitely had his supporters out there publicly. I can remember Pat McAfee being one of his biggest supporters, one of the big national voices.
Footballs in the parking lot at night.
He was always having, Ian Rappaport's on and asking, why aren't people talking more about how good Will Howard is? And he timed it up perfectly, Will did, because the dude was in his bag. At the most important time of year, all year long, he was good. But in the playoffs, to me, he was great. And so now he's in a situation to where he may get an opportunity to be the guy, depending on what the heck Aaron Rodgers decides to do.
Glad you brought his name up, because that's where I was going. If Rodgers does not come back to playing football in Pittsburgh, then it's likely they're going into this season with Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, and Will Howard.
How's that land on your palate, TLC?
He's supposed to be impressing the coaches right now. We're not going to put a whole lot into it, but he kind of enters a really intriguing situation due to the uncertainty around Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron would trump all those guys if he signs, obviously, no matter what he's getting paid. If he does actually follow through and plays for $10 million. So if he chooses not to play, Howard kind of slots, I would think, in as the backup to Mason, and then you're one play away or one bad play or whatever in getting in there.
Or enough losses.
Or enough losses where they would make the move. So Will Howard was on with Kay Adams, correct?
Correct.
And spoke about his time here at Ohio State with Jack Sawyer and the leadership and what he can do now at the pro level.
What do I need to know?
Jack Sawyer, he's a dog, absolute dog. He's just like perfect Pittsburgh Steeler fit.
Okay.
You know, blue collar, gritty guy. I think him learning from TJ and from Alex and all those guys in that room, I think it's going to be really good for him.
Your leadership has been really highlighted, I feel like, over the past year. You have a smile on your face hearing that.
Appreciate it.
What do you think of that? I mean, I'm hearing about it all the way in L.A.
That means a lot, you know, just because all that on the field stuff is great. But, you know, if you're being a quarterback, like, you got to be able to get a group of guys going. And I feel like, you know, my first step when I went to Ohio State was I want to make relationships with these guys. You know, I'm a goofy guy. I like to have fun. I like to make people laugh and just bring joy to a locker room. You know, and I think I did a good job.
I don't know what his NFL career will look like, but I think at one point in time, he's going to be a head coach somewhere. To me, he has those qualities. He has that leadership that you want. He's got the personality to where it can galvanize people together. That's a long ways away. But I've been thinking about that recently because every time I hear him speak, the dude is
got his career ending already. You got him going into coaching.
But I could see that happening for him, man, down the road. That I think Will Howard would be a good leader of men on a sideline and being a head coach, whether it's the collegiate level or in the NFL one day. But like he's focused on ball as he should be right now. And look, while he probably respects the heck out of Aaron Rodgers, you wake up every day if you're Will Howard and you're like, all right, if he doesn't want to show up, that's good for me.
Well,
that's good for me.
Doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. No doubt. Yeah.
So he gets the unfortunate probably connection onto a great team. And maybe in one breath, he gets the juice of leading a national championship run. And then on the other side is, well, you had such great players around you. So now he's going to go to the pro level and have great players around him again. But you're right. The competition is gettable. Mason's been around, but he's right there. He's got the size. He's got the toughness. He's got the dual threat ability. He's smart. He's dedicated. He checks a lot of boxes. And now it's whether he can throw into those tight windows of the NFL and feel as confident in the NFL as he did at the college level. But that run to a national title had to do wonders for him, his confidence, and where he is right now. And then again, he gets the gift of somewhat being doubted, is that you and I went through the list of all the quarterbacks that were taken, and he's the one that was the last guy standing, and then he's almost the last guy on the playground getting picked.
He was coming into the draft with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, even after winning a national championship, saying, I'm the best quarterback in this draft, hyping himself up as all these guys should, because you got to sell yourself to a certain degree outside of your film. But, yeah, how can you not be impressed? Everything you hear about Will is that when he gets in front of coaches, GMs, national talking heads, everybody is blown away with who he is as a guy. But I just think about the effort that he put in on the field and how he was willing to just go out there and put everything on the line for his teammates. I mean, we played clips a few times throughout the year to where he talked about, hey, if you guys need me to run the rock, I'm all in, and I'm not running away from physicality. And if you're a teammate, you got to love every single bit of that. And so for him, he's at a historic franchise that knows what it takes to win at a high level. They've got some young offensive pieces that if he is the guy, he can grow with, and a very, very good head coach that's looking to get back to the promised land. So it may not be this year, but I think in time he'll get an opportunity, and I won't be shocked at all if the dude capitalizes on it.
All right, there's your Buckeye Bulletin for today.
Fellas, you know what you need to capitalize on is your health. Do not waste a single second thinking you're just okay, because sometimes if you feel okay, you're not okay. But if you don't feel okay, get on over to the Columbus Men's Clinic, because over there, their medical providers build a plan around you, your body, your goals, and what it takes to get you back to feeling like yourself again. Testosterone, ED treatment, stuff most guys don't even know exists. And trust me, over there, it works. Call 614-300-7400 or visit ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Your consultation, including blood work, is just $99, and they will find a plan that works with your budget. Don't procrastinate on this. Call them right now again at 614-300-7400 or visit ColumbusMen'sClinic.com.
All right, we come back, final hour of the program, and it looks like the rivalries are staying alive at the NFL level. We'll tell you exactly what that means next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness. Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
This Memorial Day, honor the season with big savings at Ohio Mulch. For a limited time, get 5 bags of mulch or soil for just $10.95. Perfect for making your yard look the best for summer gatherings. And here's a star-spangled bonus. Save $40 on home delivery when you order now. Celebrate Memorial Day and beautify your home with help from Ohio Mulch. Visit ohiomulch.com or stop by your local store today.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, greener, greener, better.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week's honoree is Natalie Lorenz from Delaware. Natalie is a fire dispatcher who coordinates resources during major incidents and provides instructions to callers before the fire department arrives, going above and beyond the call of duty. Her professionalism, compassion, and strength make her an invaluable asset to her workplace and community. Natalie is a true unsung hero who deserves to be recognized.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with turbo power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Summer is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you'll be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. You want to beat the heat and keep the AC in your home? Get Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you can buy 4 windows and get 4 windows free. Plus a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, and no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. So how exactly do they keep their prices affordable? It's a great question. Window Nation works directly with the top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon. So buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free, and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, plus pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now, 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com. Once again, that number, 866-90-NATION, or go to their website, windownation.com.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This just in. The NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
Summer's just around the corner. Are you ready to hit the road in style? At Germain Toyota, the adventure starts now with the 2025 Toyota Tundra. Rugged, reliable, and built to take on anything summer throws your way. Drive off in a new Tundra with 1.99 APR for 48 months. That's right, low financing, high performance, and a season full of possibilities. Hurry into Germain Toyota. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net. 1.99 APR for 48 months with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. We've got a lot of day baseball going on right now. Let's start over at Huntington Park. A 45-minute rain delay has not slowed down the Clippers' bats at all. They hit 5 two-run homers in the bottom of the third, and in the bottom of the fourth, they lead the Iowa Cubs 10-3. Over in Pittsburgh, the Reds and the Pirates wrapping up their series. They're in the top of the fifth right now. Pittsburgh has a 2-1 lead over the Reds. You can catch that one over on ESPN Columbus. Up in Minnesota, the Twins and the Guardians are finishing up their game that started on Monday night, was suspended in the fourth inning. Right now, they're in the bottom of the sixth. Minnesota leads Cleveland 4-2. Western Conference Finals in the Stanley Cup playoffs begin tonight as the Oilers travel to face the Stars at 8. This one's sponsored by RCD RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, Pataskala, and online at rcdrv.com.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the Loose Cannon. We will talk Buckeye football with our friend Stephen Means at 2:30. Don't miss that. The NFL playoffs are staying the same for now. The Lions decided to rescind and scrap their proposal that would have, altered the playoffs, how they were seeded. And my first reaction to that is, why do they need the Lions? What does scrapping their proposal have to do with presenting it to the owners? And like every headline I've read says Lions withdraw proposal for big rule change. All right, well, thanks for giving us the idea. Now we'll vote on it.
I'm curious how that works. Maybe if the team that proposes it, that being, because my feel is the Lions didn't have a good feeling that enough teams or owners specifically would support this going in to today's voting. And so they pulled it off the board. I hear what you're saying. Like, hey, if it's out there, should it be something that we vote on anyway? But maybe that team has to see it through until the day of.
The proposal itself
has to be officially stamped the day of to say, okay, we're officially going to vote on it, because they would have needed 24 of the 32 owners to sign off on this thing to make it happen.
Do you think that the Lions pulled this back because they knew it wasn't getting any support? They just decided we don't need to get in front of this now.
Yeah.
Because as it stands, the first 4 seeds belong to the division winners, and the last 3 go to the wild card teams. There's no exceptions. What this was based upon, if you're just kind of joining us, is that it would make the postseason teams reseeded, I think, in the second round based on record alone.
Yes.
After the conclusion of the regular season. So I thought it was a decent idea. It was inspired by, I think this is probably why it won't go through, that it's a rare situation. It doesn't happen all the time. That occurred in the NFC North last year. The Lions and Vikes both finished with more wins than every other NFC playoff team except the Eagles. And then since the NFL rules say that a team must win their division to earn a top 4 seed, the Vikings were pushed down to number 5. It's not the biggest deal in the world. I said, I'm not going to bat for my team. I would probably do this for any team. Louis Riddick, who I respect a lot on Get Up, had a lot of good things to say about it, but I think he truly missed the mark on part of his reaction to it.
It's not broke, really. It's not. If you want to like, you get a home playoff game, then just win your damn division. Just win more games. You improve your football team, win the games. Because quite honestly, right now, is there really that much that wrong with the NFL? Are we really fighting over this right now? I've been someone who felt as though just leave it alone.
That's fine. But please do not serve me improve your team, win more games. The Vikings were 14-3. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
You can't tag them with a team that won 82.5% of their games and say it's your fault you didn't win the division. The leader of the division won 15.
Yeah.
The Lions went 15-2. So I totally understand. It's not broken. We still love the NFL, but
I think
please
both you guys can be right.
Don't serve me that some teams are crying because they didn't win enough games.
I think both you guys can be right because I think you bringing up that we don't want to overreact to what we saw with the North last year because that was a one-off. It's rare that we see 3 teams that are that dominant with those records year in, year out. And from Lewis's side of things, I hear what he's saying as well because the importance of divisional games, especially when you're playing teams twice a year, I see that vision as well. I like where we're at with the divisions. I wasn't going to go crazy if they tweaked it as well because I'm always for refreshing the sport and having things having some changes every few years or every couple decades or whatever it may be when it comes to specific rules. I did find this quote from Mike Tomlin, which I thought was interesting because I haven't heard a whole bunch of head coaches speak about this on record. And Mike Tomlin said, I believe maybe at the Combine or a couple weeks ago, that, quote, I'm a division purist, to be quite honest with you. I love the rivalries that are in division play. I love the structure of our scheduling that highlights it. I just categorize myself as a division purist. I think the division winner should get a playoff game and a home playoff game. So just because, let's say, even the NFC North was as good as it was last year, that doesn't mean that that's going to be the same this year because it could be injuries, players not living up to what they are, yada, yada, yada. All those things could change the outlook of a division year to year. And so I understand the crowd that doesn't want to have a knee-jerk reaction just because one division in the entire league, right, had the year that they had. I think we would need more evidence year in and year out of this being, quote, an issue of teams having significantly better records than other teams from other divisions and then not getting the home games and the other playoff games that they deserve.
All right, so let me ask you a couple questions. First, I'll react to that. I am also someone that is pretty deep into the divisions. I like it. I can't tell you whether I like it more than a 9-8 team being a top 4 seed. That seems off to me. And if a wild card team is 11-6 or 12-5, and that division was garbage, and you won it at 9-8, I get the worst seed.
It doesn't feel right.
That doesn't sound right.
I hear you.
But I'm with you on playing the same team in your division twice, home and away, has some deep NFL history.
Yeah, I love it.
And maybe we were in the North a great just anomaly from last year. Most fans would not argue the product is still great. The viewership, I don't know if that would increase. But I'm gonna bring you right to where your heart is.
Okay.
The NBA. The NBA does this. They see the conferences by record. Why do we have divisions? Then just get rid of divisions. Do you like the way the NBA's done it? Top 6, then you get the play-in 7 through 10, and it's all based on record. There is no. I know we were talking about the Cavs won their division and all that. But it's all based on seeding in the NBA, right?
I don't even think, real quick, people that cover the NBA every day for their lives can name the divisions in the NBA. The divisions.
It's a lot harder than doing it.
How many people right now know that the Cavs are in the Central Division?
I think we could get. I think they see the teams they play a lot. I think they could.
It's just not even the NBA doesn't even highlight divisions. I think their own selves. So that's an odd thing.
Can we name all 6? We don't have to name the teams in them. Central, Pacific,
South, East.
Is it the South and the Southeast? I don't know.
It was the Southwest.
Is there not a Southeast, or am I making that up?
There's a Northwest.
And there's probably Northwest, Northeast, Southeast, Southwest, if I had to guess. That's just a guess.
Yeah, they're brutal.
I thought there was a Pacific division.
There is. The Lakers.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not nobody really cares and knows that in the NBA. The NBA, what they try to do, AR, as you know, with the play-in, is eliminate teams from doing the tanking and all of that. On the flip side of this in the NFL, this new format that we could get when the playoff seeding may open up some more games at the end of the year that hold weight. And I think that's what Roger Goodell is going to push for because it sounds like he is on board with that and that, okay, when we get to the year and some teams are gearing down and playing some of their backups and backup quarterbacks. There's more games that will be on the line with significance. Yeah. Maybe that'll open up a new pathway for the league and eventually get to the reseeding of the postseason.
We've talked about this again. Even divisions, some of them are kind of random on teams that are in them. It's been randomized over the years when we've added teams or what have you. There probably is no point in having a division if you're going to do it the way the owners were thinking about doing it, which is changing it up. You're right. May put a little more weight later. I think it was a terrible idea. I do like the rivalries. I'm not going to lie.
I do too.
I think having, because if you were in a tough division, let's say Cincinnati's got a night game at Baltimore this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
A Thursday night.
Yeah, because Joey was talking about it. When are we going to get one of those?
And that's happened a few times where they've had to travel on a short week to a divisional opponent.
So now imagine if they changed and there was a season like this year where that was the only game they played against Baltimore.
It's tough, man.
But you wouldn't be playing for a division anymore. You'd be playing for record.
And
so you'd be playing more teams in your conference. We'd have matchups that we don't get to see. I know you play a different division every year, but I think it's tough because the NFL likes the division. Just speaking from the AFC North, like think about those rivalries and how physical and tough they are and what's on the line. I'm not here to tell you this thing is broken. I'm with Louis Riddick on that. But I think he should have just gone down the road of, I love rivalries. I love division rivalries. I love geographical rivalries in the NFL. I love the chance to get them home and home, and where they land on the schedule is important. But the second he went to, the teams that won more games are the ones that are crying. Wait, what? That made no sense to me. They're the ones that are actually winning the games, and he said, win your damn games, and they are, and he was using that against them. You can't do that. So I think it's weird, but I think most NFL fans that we've seen, on social media are the ones that want to protect the divisions, protect the rivalries. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see it diluted, but it would make sense more going into the playoffs. But I think this was more to reseed the second round and how that would work out. But maybe they'll table it for another year and see how it goes. If they get a couple years of this, they might.
They might tweak it. I agree. Since we've been talking a lot about the NFC North, for example, the year before the past season we just watched, Detroit won it at 12-5. Packers were 9-8. Vikings were 7-10. Bears are 7-10. So that's just one example. The thing that irks people, I believe, is when you look at what happened last year, the year before. In the NFC South, you had two 9-8 teams at the top of the division, with Tampa winning the division at 9-8. And so that's what drives people nuts, and for the supporters of re-racking the seeding by record when we get to the postseason is trying to avoid that.
It's rare that you'll have a division winner. Well, I shouldn't say it's that rare, because Jacksonville won the AFC South when all those teams were under 500 below them in 2022.
Houston just did it at 10-7 this past year.
Wasn't there a year in the late 2000s where the Seahawks and Rams were both 6-9 heading into the final game, and winner took the division at 7-9?
What year would that have been?
I think you're right.
I'm going to guess 2009, but that is just a shot. That's a dart.
I don't remember it being that year, but I'll look it up. But you're right. We've had a lot of these where you get the one-offs, where you get a 9-win team that's winning their division. It gets a home playoff game. All right, we'll come back, and we'll dive back into the other part of this, which is flag football.
You are over there, big dog?
See another trail mix
2010
injury. 2010?
Yeah.
2010, so you were close.
Seahawks won the division at 7-9.
Yeah, they did.
That's nasty work.
And I think that was like a Sunday night football game, too, because it was a winner-take-all.
That's nasty
And they're
work.
both 6-9 entering the final game.
Seeded fourth over four other double-digit win teams.
Shockingly, they lost their playoff game.
That's tough.
All right, one player's already thrown his hat in the ring, Maddie, for Olympic flag football. We'll tell you who next. Rothman Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan. Get an Eco.
Aaron, which brand of air conditioner is the most energy efficient?
It's the one that's had its outside coils cleaned correctly.
Well, I can wash those off with a garden hose, right?
No.
Why not?
Humidity mixes with dust and pollen to create a micro-thin film of sticky paste that gets baked onto those hot outside coils.
And that baked-on stuff keeps my coils from releasing their heat into the atmosphere.
Which means your system has to run longer, which uses a lot more energy and it shortens the life of your air conditioner.
Get Eco.
ECO. How do we get that baked-on stuff off?
Remove the exterior shroud, then spray the coils from the inside out with a special eco-friendly solvent.
Can I rinse the solvent off with a garden hose?
Yeah, but only from the inside out.
Or I could just pay Eco to do it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco doesn't take shortcuts. We do it the right way every time.
Get Eco professional coil cleaning for just $468.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, and tell me if this sounds familiar. Over the weekend, you went into your closet trying on shorts from last year. They were all too tight, so you searched deeper in the closet, looking through shorts you stashed away from thinner years. Maybe a big pair had gotten lost in the mix. No luck. Well, I'm here to tell you, don't buy bigger shorts. Instead, do what I did and fit into the ones from last year in just a few weeks with Awaken 180 weight loss. Heck, you'll be wearing your thin shorts again just a few weeks after that. How do I know? Because I'm still wearing my thin Austin shorts again this summer. I've kept my 50 pounds off thanks to Awaken 180's free maintenance support for life. Say it with me. I won't buy bigger shorts. Make that pledge, then call Awaken 180 and make the most out of this summer and every summer after. Awaken 180, your long-term solution for weight loss. Call 844-346-1800 or head online at awaken180weightloss.com. You won't regret it.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinder Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HinderMotorCompany.com.
Good news. Jack has personally invited the fan to the Memorial Tournament, and we're broadcasting 30 hours of live content, and we'll try not to embarrass ourselves.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Don't forget the umbrella today, as rain chances are in the forecast again with isolated thunderstorms. Otherwise, expect cloudy to mostly cloudy skies and temperatures in the low 70s. For tonight, chances of showers and thunderstorms continue. Overnight lows right around 50, and for Thursday, much cooler, only getting into the upper 50s with chances of rain lingering. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, a little Bet365 time, Maddie.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sorry.
I'll tell you real fast.
Yep.
I won't have the chance to lose money on the Reds because they're already playing.
Why are they doing this to me?
Are they losing still?
Yeah, it's 2-1.
Oh, okay, you're fine.
It's 2-1. Come on, let's get it together. The offense has gone ghost the last 2 games, which has kind of been the story all year long. But over at Bet365, folks, we don't do ordinary. Not at all. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians taking on the Twinkies today. Looks like 3 o'clock first pitch. I know they've been dealing with some weather the last few days, so it's been rough to get these Guardian games in. But AR, let's talk about this new sign-up offer for our listeners, because you can bet $5 right now over at Bet365, and you will get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. So cash in on that. Do not wait. Go download the Bet365 app today. You said Mike Conley let me down yesterday? One of 5
yeah,
from 3?
You needed one more.
Dang.
You needed that twofer.
Yeah, I did.
And I went all in on the Reds as the hottest team, and they didn't score a run.
Yeah, all right, we'll get it together today. I'm looking at Eastern Conference Finals game number 1 in the Garden. Bing bong. Give me. You know what they are? I'm going to go with Tyrese Halliburton. I'm going Tyrese Halliburton, and I'm going to go 20 points for the Iowa State Cyclone at plus 110. WWE had the script last year where they had Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton in the ring together, and now we see it with a trip to the finals on the line. Game 1 in the Garden, Halliburton plus 110 to score 20 points.
I feel like taking Connor McDavid to score a goal tonight. It's on the road at Dallas. He's been a one-man wrecking crew here during the playoffs. His numbers have gone way up. He's averaging about 4 shots on like 7 attempts. Some overtimes have helped boost his numbers, but at least 3 shots on goal in 9 of the 11 games. He's piling up the chances. When you have him with chances, then we should convert. I'm doing it because I like the value. He's plus 170 to score a goal tonight. So I think I'll go that route. I also may bet against a pitcher on my own fantasy team who I'm going to bench.
A little mental hedge? Oh, no.
No, I think I'm going to bench him, so that means I'm going all in.
Which means he's going to ball out tonight.
He's been really bad, and it's the Mets' Tyler McGill. And so I could just take his... He's been a kind of a K machine, though, and his over-under is 5.5. I did this with Bubich, and he got 5. All right, so I think you're right. Your instincts are right. If I bench him, he should have a good game. So let's go over 5.5 Ks for Tyler McGill against Boston. And then I'll take Connor McDavid with an anytime goal for plus 170.
Yeah, I like the McDavid juice for sure. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download that Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offers subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, so the NFL, just to kind of continue all the workings that's going on, they're giving the players the chance to chase the gold medal, or at least one on each team. So they voted in favor of allowing them to participate in flag football in 2028. I mean, some of these guys, you know, I was thinking about this today. We did our little draft for fantasy football. What are the chances that Tyreek Hill would be even eligible as a retired player? Like, this isn't until 2028. What if he plays this season, next season, the following season? Maddie, that would make him 34.
Okay.
I'm wondering, will they allow retired players? Doesn't feel like it. Feels like they would probably go with the current players. But anyway, by the way, it's going to be in L.A. Summer Olympics in L.A.
Yeah.
2028. Somewhere in this world, I had an LA 84 T-shirt.
I'm sure you guys don't know too much about UCLA, but we're in LA.
That's right. That's what the LA stands for, either Lower Alabama or Los Angeles.
One of the worst press conferences for a head coach.
Yeah,
was
he froze, man. He just froze in the lights.
Yeah, it
happens.
It was bad.
Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson on getting the green light, perhaps.
I mean, even though it's, 3 years down the line and then they're still planning and who's going to be on the team and all, but, just think about the chances of playing in the Olympics and, getting a gold medal is a dream. It's just so many different athletes all around this league that we have that come from different areas of this world that, the talent is out there. This game needs to be expanded and to be played, all around the world. So I'm just honored to be an ambassador for this flag thing that's going on, and to say that, when I was a little kid, it wasn't that big. To see it expand and to be what it is today, I'm honored to be a part of it and to have this space that I have and to expand it more is my job, and it's something that I, carry under my heart. This flag thing that's going on.
Flag thing that's going on. I said to you guys last week how just non-prestigious this is. It's flag football.
I think the players look at it the other way.
They do.
I think they're in, man.
5-on-5.
You had me convinced until he called it this flag thing that's going on.
I'm glad he did that because that was my whole argument last week, which is how much this really matters. And then you could let the college guys do it. We could go way back, Lake Placid style. But I also feel like, is he already guaranteed the spot? He called himself the ambassador.
He's Justin Jefferson.
So no other Viking. Because if it's 5-on-5, and we don't know the qualification process or the tryout process, there's not a ton of spots available for a wide receiver. There's going to be quite the competition. Think about this. Jefferson, Jamar Chase, we did our draft. Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek, A.J. Brown, Malik Neighbors.
Jeremiah Smith will be eligible by
Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams. Like, all of a sudden we're talking 2028.
Jamar and Justin have to be there.
Hey, by then, Maddie, Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers.
Zay, give him his flowers.
He's that twitchy wide receiver. He's got, I'm in on the small frame guys. Hard to grab that target. You might be on to something with that there, TLC. But, yeah, Justin Jefferson has to be on the squad. At that point, he will still be in his prime, so I'd love to have him a part of it. And we, as the U.S. of A., we got to send our best. We can't go over there and send some, not the first time around AR. We got to set the tone. We got to let them know and have them, y'all going to learn today.
Why not maybe just see how it goes?
Oh, no.
And we can't, if they have to swoop in.
Send the dream team? No, I want to send the dream team now.
Maybe we just wing it.
No, we can't have other countries getting any type of confidence that they can hang with us in football. Not at all. So I want to send our absolute best first time around.
Yeah, you can't just be preparing a redeem team already.
Right. A dorm storm team.
See what happens.
No, we can't wing it.
We're just going to wing it. There's a big difference between winging it and seeing what happens.
Let's just see what happens.
One thing we haven't talked about is I believe Travis Hunter has to be on this team. We need a two-way player.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because we haven't talked about defensive guys.
Hang on. When we did our draft, I said to you, check the tape. I said, are you sure you don't want to take Travis Hunter?
Well,
you said no.
I wasn't. Well, we were talking receivers at the time, so I wasn't going to take
him in our draft.
No. I'm saying when we were drafting, we weren't drafting defensive
running backs.
We weren't drafting defensive players, though. That's what I'm saying. So I think Travis Hunter would bring some good value to the squad
100%
when we get there in 2028. Yeah.
I guess JJ's on the squad already.
Oh, he has
Happy
to be
an ambassador in this flag thing. It's the Olympics.
Oh, man.
This isn't some throwaway flag football game in the park.
This flag thing that's going on.
Oh, goodness.
At Lake Mille Lacs.
It's going to be, and here's my other thing, is that, I brought this up to Schefter. We've watched these guys play flag football in the Pro Bowl for the last few years, and it's gone off without a hitch. So I'm not worried. You can get hurt doing anything, so I don't really want to hear anymore about the flag football injury concern when they've been doing it for something less significant than a gold medal.
If someone did have a big injury, would that be on the player or the team to protect, to pay out the contract?
That's what we'll find out. And I can't wait to see how these owners and teams go about protecting or saying, hey, if you don't want to get protected, it's your risk, and we're not going to cover you. We shall see. But I love that this is happening, and I love that some of the star players already are adamant about being a part of it.
The flag thing.
The flag thing.
This flag thing that's going on.
Yeah.
That's going on. What's going on?
Yeah, he made himself sound like such an important fixture. And he gave himself the title ambassador.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then he's like,
you guys are
of the flag
overreacting
thing.
to that. You guys are overreacting. The big picture is
I
he's
don't
in.
know.
He's in.
I'm down with that, Matty.
He knows what he's saying. He knows what he's
He
playing.
called himself an ambassador, and then he forgot what he was an ambassador of. And
He's
just
probably
just
not
the
used to
flag thing that's going
probably
on.
not used to giving speeches like that. He's probably was a little nervous. I don't care about that.
Deshaun Foster?
That was even worse. But Justin Jefferson saying that he's lined up for this thing, that's what we need. Go get the medal, JJ. Bring it home.
All right, we're going to come back with Stephen Means. We talk Buckeye football and the addition to their QB room next in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Hiring today for tomorrow with WM. A stable career and a safe environment. That's what you get as a heavy-duty mechanic at WM. Plus great benefits like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family. WM is now hiring heavy-duty mechanics in Columbus. Get boot and tool allowance and additional pay with a Cummins certification or CDL license. There are openings for CDL truck drivers too with home daily routes. Apply online at careers.wm.com. That's careers.wm.com. A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Fascinating, informative, covered in dog slobber. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, he's already first-team all-name team. We'll get to that in a minute. And our other guy's first-team all-name team is our friend Stephen Means, affectionately known as Natron on this show. Good to have you back, my man. How you feeling?
I'm good. Nice to be here.
When I saw the name Eli Brick Handler, it was pretty solid. I said to Maddie, I'm like, at least it's not bricklayer, and at least he's not a basketball player. But I had never really known, I hadn't heard of this guy. I don't know if you have. But he spent a couple years at, North Carolina A&T, and then went to Houston Christian. Did you know anything about this guy beforehand?
I know about the idea of this guy. I don't know if anybody knew necessarily that this was going to be the guy there, but a couple of guys at Ohio State was looking into it, and they obviously had been doing their due diligence. But they needed a fourth quarterback, and this isn't about they needed a fourth guy to join the battle. This is a Julian Sand, Lincoln Keenholz conversation. But they need a fourth guy in the room. And also, if you just look at the room, it's super, super young. I don't even think any of these guys are 21 yet. Lincoln might be, depending on when his birthday is. But you're talking about less than 100 combined snaps for all 3 of these guys. And I think what they wanted was an older guy in the room, very similar to to my understanding, very similar to Tristan Gebbia in 2023. Remember when it was the Kyle McCord, Devin Brown battle with Lincoln Keenholz as the true freshman developing in the background? Well, that was only 3, and they wanted a fourth, and they wanted a guy in this room who had maybe had a little bit of experience, but this was more about a win-win of they get a fourth guy in the room, they get an older guy in the room, while also this is a guy for Tristan if he wanted to, get into coaching when he was done playing football, because it's very clear he wasn't going to be an NFL player. Why not get a jump start at that in one of the best quarterback rooms in the country? And to my knowledge, this is the same pitch here, where it's nothing changes in terms of what this means for the quarterback battle. It's Julian Sand and Lincoln Kinos, and then you've got Tavian St. Clair battling in the background. This gets the room to 4, and it's a win-win. Whatever he decides to do next after this, whatever he can do that here and maybe do it at a higher level than what he was going to be able to do at Houston Christian, just given the reputation of how they develop quarterbacks here.
One of the older guys in the room last year was Will Howard, and we were playing a clip from him, and he was talking to Kay Adams just about Jack and his leadership style and just being the dude last year for Ohio State amongst a whole bunch of other dudes, as we all know. But, Steven, just being around Will last year, just talk about that component of who he was as a guy and the leadership you saw on display from him that helped them go on to win a natty.
I mean, he was a grown man, right? And we haven't had that at quarterback at Ohio State in a while. Justin was 19 when he got here in 2019 and took over that job. CJ was 19, turning 20 when he took over as a starting quarterback. Kyle was 20, going on 21 when he took over that quarterback job. Will was 23, 24 years old when he got here. He was a fully formed, functioning human being who was comfortable with what he had been through. Every time we had asked him questions, it was like, yeah, how did I learn how to do this? Because I didn't know how to do it 3 or 4 years ago, and learning how to not do it often taught me how to do it. He got to learn how to be a quarterback, essentially, at Kansas State, and then he came here and learned how to be a high-level quarterback, while we've gotten used to guys who are trying to do both at Ohio State. And that's what we're back in now, right? We're talking about a bunch of young guys who are still trying to find themselves and find their voices, which is why even if you think the arm talent is a higher level, given the recruiting pedigree that these guys have, the leadership part of it is such a underrated thing that we don't talk about enough. That Will Howard really was probably the best out of all the quarterbacks that we've seen during the Ryan Day era. And that's partially why they were able to pull themselves out of that hole after that Michigan loss. I don't know how many of these other quarterbacks would have been able to pull Ohio State out of that hole and have that team ready to go win 4 straight to win a national champion. I think Will was the perfect quarterback for what that team needed. And now when you've got 3 guys in a room who aren't that, they're just personality, not outgoing people the same way. I do wonder, especially for Lincoln and Julian, spending the last 12 months seeing what that looks like, seeing what's required to have success at this position, has that rubbed off on them in a way that maybe it's not something that they lack by the time we get to the season?
Yeah, great point there. He was the guy. Ohio State football beat writer for Cleveland.com, our friend Stephen Means, also the host of Buckeye Talk Pod. What was your take on behind the scenes, whether Ross Bjork wants to do anything or can do anything about the noon kickoff deal? And listen, the media deals are the media deals. They're floating the boat. They're stroking the big checks. What do you think their reaction is on the inside? And we know what it is on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, let's just be frank about this for a second. I'm going to use an example here to tell you how important these night games are outside of just fans want to watch Ohio State play good teams with the sun's not out. I want to go back to 2019 for a second. It's the Michigan State game. If you remember that game, they wore the all-black jerseys, and it was a night game. Well, there was a highly rated quarterback in California who was in on a visit that night, and his name was C.J. Stroud, and he's told this story both behind the scenes and also in front of microphones, the idea of that guy's from California. He played a Friday night game, high school game, hopped on a plane, still in his football gear to get here, and he got here at like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, just in time to get to the game, right? Now, imagine if that Michigan State game had been at noon. Well, then C.J. Stroud doesn't get here. Does it mean that C.J. Stroud doesn't end up being the quarterback here? I don't know. That's history now. But that's what we're talking about from an Ohio State perspective of, yes, it's the atmosphere. Yes, it's getting an opportunity to have what we saw against Tennessee where they added elements to the thing. Yes, it's a cool thing for Ohio State to play these night games, but there's also a recruiting impact here. It's hard to get some of the best players in the country here for a night game, for a noon game when they played football the night before. So think about it from that perspective as well. Of that's, I think, where it hurts Ohio State the most. And so now think back to the Notre Dame game, 2022, how big of a deal that was, a top 5 matchup at night. LeBron James is here. Jason Tatum is here. It's all types of celebrities here. Joe Burrow showed up. It's hard to put on that type of show when it's a noon game just because it's so early in the day. It doesn't mean the game won't be good. It just won't maximize the atmosphere and the ability that Ohio State can put on a show in that situation. So I'm sure Ross Bjork is doing his best behind the scenes to push for that to be a night game. But it does come down to, it's like, listen, TV contracts are TV contracts. It's just unfortunate that in this TV contract the Big Ten has, Ohio State and Michigan, really more than any other program in the Big Ten, get the brunt of it because they're the two biggest draws, so they end up playing on Fox Big Noon Kickoff more often than not.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a good point, good example. I love that CJ story that you told there. I mean, as you know, Stephen, last year, a big part of the reason why the team was able to continue to roll was the offensive line play, right? When they had to move some pieces around, that thing was still humming at a high level. When you look at this offensive line right now on paper and some of the holes that need to get filled, how do you feel about that unit at the moment?
It's promising, and I think because of what happened last year, you can feel more promising because guys like Luke Montgomery got essentially thrown to the wolves in a college football playoff run and had to start at left guard from them, and he kind of excelled at it. Okay, well, now you might be the guy at left guard. So can you turn – it doesn't get any harder than Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame for a playoff run. So are you ready to do this full time now? Tegra Shabola got his feet wet as a starter last year. Is he ready to maybe take a step up? Because I think – he kind of tailed off at the end of the year and didn't look as good as he did pre-Oregon game. Can he take a step? I think Austin Seerveld might be the best-kept secret in Ohio State's offensive line. If you remember, that guy was playing left and right guard in playoff games. And now it seems like he's going to be their starting right tackle. And if he's solidified at that spot, I think we're looking at a kid who has all Big Ten level potential. And I'm not sure that's the way anybody viewed him when he first got to Ohio State. I think Ethan Owenyawa at that left tackle spot seems to be progressing nicely. The fact that he has experience will help, but I think he's progressing now to the left tackle. And Carson Hinsman, I mean, he was the starting center in 2023, was the starting center for the playoff run after Seth McLaughlin got hurt, and he's going to be your starting center this year. I think that starting five is quality. I think the bigger question right now is, do they have depth? Because last year the answer to that was no, and so now you have your first-round guard playing left tackle for you in the 6-7 most important games of the season. Their dudes seem to be building that depth. Ethan Moore at tackle behind Ethan Owenyawa and Austin Seerveld coming along nicely. They brought in Phillip Daniels as a Minnesota transfer on the interior. They've got guys like Josh Padilla who's coming along nicely. Carter Lowe, the true freshman, he looks the part. So even if it's not the first couple of weeks, by the end of the year, you should be looking at a guy and going, okay, 2026, he's going to steal one of these starting tackle jobs. I think right now, Tyler Bowen, who's kicking butt on the recruiting trail, but in terms of building depth, you've got to like where things are headed right now, just in case. Listen, worst case scenario, you're playing your left guard at left tackle and seeming to work out pretty well, but you don't want to be in that situation if you can help it. And it seems like right now they're building that necessary depth.
Well done, my man, as always. Always enjoy it, and we'll do it again soon. Thanks, bud.
Anytime, guys.
Stephen Means, Cleveland.com on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. He's right, from Oneonwa to Luke to Carson to Tegra to Austin, pretty solid across the board.
Yeah.
And then it's those pieces behind them in that 2-3 deep.
AR, no matter who the guy is, like that's going to be the unit that allows that quarterback, whether it's Lincoln or Julian or whoever's the QB1, to settle in. And
Brick handler.
Brick handler. He might win the job. Who knows, man? But you have an offensive line that can calm the nerves of a young quarterback, an inexperienced quarterback. That's how the offense can find its groove sooner rather than later. So that's good to hear.
I failed because I wanted to ask him at the very end if he was going to get an honorary doctorate like LeBron's getting from Ohio State. if he deserves a public service degree. We come back, we'll tell the truth. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
When you're a AAA member, we do the hard stuff for you. So, picture this. You're taking a road trip through the mountains at night, and you run out of gas. Do you, A, call AAA, or B, walk 29 miles to the nearest gas station in the pouring rain?
A?
How about this? You need auto insurance. You could A, pick AAA to find the best coverage for you, or B, spend so much time researching insurance jargon that you might as well have gotten a law degree.
Yeah, I'm going with A.
Right. Okay, you're booking a vacation. You can A, have AAA plan it for you, or B, stress so hard about layovers and getting to your cruise that you need a vacation from booking your vacation.
That's easy. A, AAA.
On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, and tell me if this sounds familiar. Over the weekend, you went into your closet trying on shorts from last year. They were all too tight. So you searched deeper in the closet, looking through shorts you stashed away from thinner years. Maybe a big pair had gotten lost in the mix. No luck. Well, I'm here to tell you, don't buy bigger shorts. Instead, do what I did and fit into the ones from last year in just a few weeks with Awaken 180 weight loss. Heck, you'll be wearing your thin shorts again just a few weeks after that. How do I know? Because I'm still wearing my thin Austin shorts again this summer. I've kept my 50 pounds off thanks to Awaken 180's free maintenance support for life. Say it with me. I won't buy bigger shorts. Make that pledge, then call Awaken 180 and make the most out of this summer and every summer after. Awaken 180, your long-term solution for weight loss. Call 844-346-1800 or head online at awaken180weightloss.com. You won't regret it.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news. We fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball.
So we bought an actual shopping mall and put one of the largest Honda dealerships in the world inside of it. Hi, it's Steve Lindsay with Lindsay Honda. So it's big. We house about 150 to 200 cars indoors, lit, all unlocked, ready for you to be able to view and see. A fully tempered climate. Doesn't matter if it's raining outside, 10 below zero, super hot. There's real trees inside, and it's just a casual environment. And if you haven't seen it, it's really a cool story, not about its opulence. It's just a cool story to see what was a dilapidated old mall being reinvigorated into a pillar in the community that everybody benefits from.
This month at Lindsay Honda, choose a 2025 Honda Ridgeline RTL, Honda HR-V or CR-V, and pay just $299 a month at our famous Lindsay Honda Trade-A-Thon. We'll trade for anything and give you $1,000 more for your vehicle all month long. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Now buy 4 windows, get 4 free, plus a free entry door with a house of windows. Visit windownation.com.
All right, let me ask you one first, for both you guys. Would you buy that some of the teams that voted against banning the tush push did that because they knew their vote will eventually become public and they don't want to appear weak?
I don't think so. I don't think the owners were sitting there worried about the court of public opinion with this. I think this is rooted in, we've had conversations with our personnel and our staff, and I would like to think, AR, that it was based off of that. I don't think they're in there thinking about people on Twitter joking about them or trying to dunk on them with jokes or whatever.
You said
Twitter.
voting. You said those who voted against the ban?
Yeah, meaning
so the 10 teams?
Yeah, meaning that they voted against it because they want to keep it. They'll keep it in the game because they don't want to look weak, like we can't stop it. And we know it's probably not going to win the vote, so we want to be on the right side of the vote, the strong side.
Oh, the right side of history? I'd say no, just because, and I guess this would depend on how much they would have been able to anticipate the results, but it kind of looked like every vote counted. Like they were 2 votes away from a different result. So I'm going to say that they were probably all being as honest as possible with their vote because every vote mattered.
Got pretty close. I agree. All right, big man, take us home.
All righty. I saw this from Danny Cannell. This was a weird one. He says that he won 3rd place in his pool for the PGA Championship, and one of his friends, who I guess invited him into the pool, says, hey, the guy who runs the pool, now that you've won your money, you got to tip him 10%. So are you guys down with tipping your fantasy commissioners?
No. Absolutely not. It's my money and I want it now, AR.
The general?
Yeah.
All right, so that's ridiculous because the guy who started the pool had no impact on who you picked.
Thank you.
This is completely different than being in a casino, where if you're on a hot streak or you get a big win at the table, you flick the dealer a little something because it's good karma and it's proper to do that.
I'm not even doing that.
Yeah, no.
I'm never tipping a dealer.
Guys,
if you do me anything?
Heck
What do you mean didn't do you anything? He's the one that's spinning the ball or dealing the cards.
He had nothing to do with that. He's not getting any of my money. You're too nice.
Especially
it isn't about being
card
nice.
Dealers,
It's
they put those cards in a machine to shuffle them. They don't even shuffle them themselves.
It's about respecting a heater. And that
I'm the heater. I created the heat.
You're not the cooler?
The Iceman cooling off.
All right. I'm sorry. Maybe I've spent way too much time in casinos over the years. But if you win, it's common practice to flick a little to the dealer, or at least on your way out after a big win. You don't just...
They don't save me when I lose.
They don't. I'm not saying you're really technically doing it for them. You're doing it to keep the good karma coming your way. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Maybe I've just needed more good luck than most over the years.
This flag thing that's going on.
Nick
2028, can't wait.
I can't remember the name of it, but I can't wait to be there.
He knows what
It's
it
a flag
is.
thing
Chill
that's
on
going
Justin
on.
Jefferson. He'll be there. And you're going to love it, AR, when he's repping the Vikings. You're going to love it.
Will I?
Yeah, you're going to, because you'll be locked in on that.
I'll do a glance, Armstrong. I'll take a glance at it. I don't think locked in.
I'd love for you to be the owner to tell Justin Jefferson.
No.
You can't do this.
I wouldn't have been that guy. I told you it would have been impossible for anybody to get in front of that, and that's what happened. It was 32-0.
No,
So,
I'm just saying, if you were the owner of the Vikings, you would have voted no on this.
No, because I want to be on the right side of history. I said to you the other
so
day.
you would have been worried about the court of public opinion.
I wouldn't have stepped in front of the patriotic part of it, which is
America.
Yes. I wouldn't have done that. But in the back of your mind as an owner, just like in the Four Nations face-off, you think that you think the Big Don was loving Z out there? He was loving the representing and all of what he did and how great he played and was for the player. You would not stand in his way, but you can't.
If you were an owner, you
know
wouldn't.
They wouldn't. They didn't love it.
If you were an owner, you would never get sleep because if you can't worry about this stuff. These guys do crazy stuff all off season. They're working out every day.
True.
You know?
Nick Saban won a Sports Emmy for Outstanding Emerging On-Air Talent. Tell the truth. Do you enjoy Nick Saban on TV?
I don't watch Game Day anymore. So I really don't have a take on Saban because we're rocking and rolling in the mornings. And
just kidding.
No, it's just pregame shows in general. AR and I talk about that all the time, especially for us on Saturdays. Like AR's pregame show a lot of time is going directly against those guys, and I'm going home and catching a nap before the game. So I'm not even that in on game day. It's not surprising to hear Saban with his football knowledge that he was a good addition to the show. They got a strong cast. I'm not surprised by that at all.
I believe that it's probably deserved. I also believe that if he didn't start dropping the swear bombs, that he may not have won one. I think that's been a big part of it, that it's like opened a lot of people's eyes.
Okay.
That he brought the locker room to the set a little more than people expected, and he's kind of stood out that way.
I don't have ovaries. I can't have a child.
Mm-hmm. No, you cannot. And Ice, you owe me.
Here we go. Before we leave, don't worry, because I got to tell you about our podcast. If you ever miss anything from our show, you can always catch up via the Rothman and Ice podcast, because wherever you get your podcast, just type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3, we'll be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast. Common Man and Timmy coming up next, 3 to 6. Do not move.
We will come back.
First
of all, I'm not worried about you. Wow. That didn't seem like a great drop. I think we
What
nixed.
did Jason Kelsey do?
We come back tomorrow night. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. News, special guests, and everything Scarlet and Gray. The Fan.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with turbo power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hiring today for tomorrow with WM.
A stable career and a safe environment. That's what you get as a heavy-duty mechanic at WM.
Plus great benefits like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family.
WM is now hiring heavy-duty mechanics in Columbus. Get boot and tool allowance and additional pay with a Cummins certification or CDL license.
There are openings for CDL truck drivers too with home daily routes.
Apply online at careers.wm.com. That's careers.wm.com.
A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Are you a skilled hardscape worker looking for better pay, steady work, and a crew that has your back? Join 9 Trees Landscape Construction, Central Ohio's top patio and retaining wall builder for outdoor living spaces. We value craftsmanship, dependability, and hustle, and pay you accordingly. We are hiring experienced or ready to learn, full-time, no weekends, top pay and benefits. Call 614-921-9595 or visit 9treeslc.com. 9 Trees, where hard work builds more than just great patios.
When you're starting a home improvement project, a few big questions always come up. Who can I trust? Will they be there if something goes wrong? And lastly, how much is this going to cost me? At Newman Roofing, we've been answering those questions for over 30 years. As a family-owned and operated company that takes pride in every aspect of the job, with family members involved in each department of the company, we treat your home like it's our own. That means clear communication, no shortcuts, and a white glove experience from start to finish. And when it comes to cost, we get it. That's why we offer flexible financing options so you can get the quality your home needs at a price that works for your budget. Don't just take our word for it. With over 700 5-star reviews on Google, families across Central Ohio are sharing their Newman Roofing experience. For roofing, siding, and gutter solutions built around family, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Are you experiencing knee pain? Is something as simple as walking up and down the stairs painful? Well, I found the answer to your pain. Hey, it's Tyvis Powell. What Columbus Medical Director Dr. Aaron Walkoff and his team are doing is nothing short of remarkable. They are using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in your achy joints. These are biologic growth factors with robust healing properties carefully and strategically placed in your joints. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing old tissues. Best part with QC Kinetics, there are no drugs, headaches, there's no surgeries involved, and there's no downtime. This is an all-natural cellular level option with lasting relief. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus or call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatment that can help you live your best life. The consultation is free. New locations in Grove City and Canal Winchester. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, you're the Carfax guy.
The Carfox from Carfax.
Wow.
And you, sir, work at Tire Discounters.
I sure do.
The Carfax top-rated service center.
Oh, right. You know, a lot of that's because of our services. But people think we're just about tires.
Maybe it's your name.
Yeah.
Tire Discounters. And your jingle.
Oh, you like it?
I think it needs something.
Yeah? Like what?
Hit it. Plus brakes, oil changes, shocks, and struts, and more. Now that speaks to me.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.